All right, and we are live, and welcome guys to another YouTube live stream here on my channel. Of course, I am Robbie1 Kenobi, and today I'm joined by a couple good friends of mine, a couple good guests. First off, I'd like to introduce the man who just recently met the face that runs the place, the WWE champion AJ Styles. That is Mike, of course. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Robbie. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, welcome, pleasure, and thank you for plugging the video yesterday. Or thank you for plugging today's video in your AJ Styles Experience video. Thank you for the shout out. I really appreciate that.
Oh, sure thing. Not a problem, man.
No problem. And also joining us today is the man who had the most brilliant idea on how to bring the Balor Club to fruition at WrestleMania. I'm not going to say too much because he has that video coming out soon. But I just thought that was freaking brilliant. And, of course, is my man, Gene. Gene, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you, Robbie, for having me on, and let's just have an excellent time with this. I'm
Definitely.
hyped. I'm hyped.
I do want to send a shout out to Daniel Giza. He was supposed to join us today, but he is not feeling well. Daniel, hope you're feeling better, man. We'll definitely collaborate again in the future. So, without any further ado, today's topic, with the Royal Rumble being next Sunday night live on the WWE Network, I got to get a JBL impression in here. The WWE Network's only $9.99. It has a 99% satisfaction rate.
Do you have the note cards on you, Robbie?
$9.99, Michael.
$9.99, Michael.
$9.99, man. Do you have the note cards on you also? I hate when they put the note cards on.
Oh, man, the note cards.
Oh, I hated those.
Remember Byron Saxton just smiling with them like, yeah, network.
No.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway, guys, with the Royal Rumble coming up next Sunday night on the WWE Network, I thought the three of us would come together and share our favorite Royal Rumble memories. And you know, with the Royal Rumble this year, the whole punchline is remember the Rumble. Well, we will literally be remembering the Rumble as we take a look back at our favorite Royal Rumble moments, our favorite Royal Rumble matches, and our favorite non-Royal Rumble matches. And non-Royal Rumble matches include, well, singles matches.
What?
They also include tag matches.
What?
They also include handicap matches.
What?
They also include Divas matches.
What?
Street fights.
What?
Viagra on a pole matches.
Free throw matches?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
my goodness. That was perfect.
That was. All right, so without any further ado, guys, let's get down to this. So we're going to each take our turns going through each of these categories, and we're going to start with Royal Rumble moments. So, Gene, because I loved your Balor Club formation idea at WrestleMania so much, why don't you kick us off with number 5? What is your number 5 pick for a favorite Royal Rumble moment?
Okay, number 5. I just recently changed because we were just talking, you know, before we went on air about Mickie James, and I was actually watching it today. So the 2006 Royal Rumble saw Mickie James face Ashley with Trish Stratus as a special guest referee. But the moment that I liked the most about that was before the match. Trish Stratus was, you know, preparing to go out. She was looking all nice. She had her referee gear on, you know, very revealing. That's not the moment. The moment was when Mickie James walked up to her while she's trying to get focused and was just trying to tell her something very important. Trish is like, yo, it has to wait. We got a match. I got to go referee. I got stuff to do. Come on, Mickie. We got to get focused. And Mickie was just like, no, I can't let you go out there. I got to tell you something. Trish, I love you. And Trish looked at her like, what the hell did you just say to me? And just walked away from her. It was so epic. It was hilarious. I even rewatched, like I said, I rewatched it today and marked the hell out for it because it was just so random. And that just brought me back to Psycho Mickie. It was just one of my favorite Royal Rumble moments.
Yes.
Oh,
you
man.
know what? When Mickie James first debuted, I thought her Psycho gimmick was so annoying. I was like, please shut this girl up. I mean, do you guys remember in 2005 when Eric Bischoff had every single member of the Raw roster come out, and he was talking about, I think it was Survivor Series, and Mickie James was like, oh, can we just take the time to honor our great women's champion, Trish Stratus? And I was like, oh.
Yes, she loved her some Trish.
Jeez.
The more I watch, the more I appreciate how Mickie James made that character great, because she made that character great. You know, Psycho Mickie was just a crazy ass chick, and it's like that's the woman you don't want to bring home to mama. But Mickie James was great. I love Mickie, and Mickie coming back on SmackDown. I'm so excited to see Psycho Mickie go up against Becky Lynch. So that's a great number 5 pick right there, Gene. And Mike, what do you have for number 5 in terms of Royal Rumble moments?
Yeah, once again, as we said before we went on the air, most of my picks are a little more recent. Some are like here and there because of stuff I've seen here on networks. I haven't been watching WWE as long as you guys. But my number 5 pick actually was from the 2005 Rumble, the moment where Cena and Batista were eliminated at the same time, and the controversy had. Because I do agree that. Well, and also a special shout out too. Isn't this when Vince tore both his quads also coming down to the ring?
Yeah, he Kevin Nashed himself.
But yeah, it's just at the time it showed those were two like uprising stars, and I think that they did a good job there telling a story about these two guys who are like could be going at each other for years, and you don't know like who's really going to get to the top first. So why not have them eliminate each other at the same time and try to start over at the beginning with them to see where you can get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now the funny thing about that moment is Batista even said it in an interview. He was supposed to powerbomb Cena and then eliminate Cena, but because Cena's momentum threw them off, like, you know, caused them to lose their balance, and they both went over the top rope. They had to do they did the impromptu finish with Batista hitting the spine buster and throwing Cena over the top rope. But you know, when it came down, like when that first happened, and then Vince you know, ran into the ring and like tore his quads. I was like, what? And I just saw Vince sitting there. I didn't even stop to think he tore his quads. I thought maybe he hurt his knee or he might have blown it out. But I was like, I just remember seeing that and like, I just didn't even stop. I'm thinking, okay, what the hell's gonna go on? It's like, is Cena gonna be declared the winner? Is Batista gonna be declared the winner? Are we getting Royal Rumble '94 all over again? So you know that was a crazy.
Oh my goodness.
That is a great Rumble match. Spoiler alert, that might be in my top 5 Rumble matches, but that is still, you know, a great Rumble match with a lot of great talent. And I just got to say this real quick. One thing I love about that Rumble match, do you guys remember the 2 guys that started it off?
No, I don't remember who it was.
I do not.
Eddie Guerrero at number 1 and Chris Benoit at number 2. And I thought that was a great way.
Ooh, we don't say his name, though.
Oh, we might have to.
Yeah, unfortunately, too bad. We're going to say the name. Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
Yeah. All right. So my number 5 pick is from the 2008 Royal Rumble match. And it's a moment that I can still go back and watch, and I'll still get goosebumps because it was just an insane moment that I don't think anybody saw coming. And if you actually thought this was going to happen, if you said, oh, this is going to happen, yeah, you're a liar. John Cena returning at number 30 in the Royal Rumble match.
Ooh.
The pop he got from the crowd, the reaction was insane. That is one of the most loving chant reactions he's gotten from the crowd because, of course, you know, we've got Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks. But when he came back, and I'm sitting there live at home watching the Royal Rumble, and I'm thinking, Triple H is on a roll. He's going to win this thing because I honestly didn't expect Cena was going to return after the injury he suffered. So number 30 comes out. It's Cena's music, and I'm like, what? Like, no.
He's only been out for like 2 months. He's supposed to be out for like 7, 8 months or something like that. Wasn't that the case?
Almost a year, yeah.
That's when he tore his pectoral muscle, right?
Yeah, that's when he tore his pec. And then when he comes out, and I'm like, what the hell? Cena's back? I'm like, and JR, oh, God bless JR for the way he called that. You know, that was just
that was one of the best calls I've heard so far, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That was just a chilling moment, a spine-tingling moment. And then, of course, when Cena got in the ring, the crowd thought, oh, shit, he's going to win it. So they started to boo him. But you can't take the pop away that he got. You know, you can't take it away. That was incredible. That was just, wow. And that MSG magic, you know what I'm talking about? That's still a great return. I just watched it last night, and I still got goosebumps watching it. So even though he got booed for the rest of the match, you can't take away the MSG gave Cena one hell of a welcome home. So that's my number 5 pick. Gene, what is your number 4 pick for Royal Rumble moments?
Okay, my number 4 pick is actually from this past year's Royal Rumble, and it was when Triple H won the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
Now, it's a personal one for me because Triple H being one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and even though he's not like a full-time wrestler anymore, I still get, hyped up or go crazy when he does something because it's Triple H. Just like when the Undertaker does something, it's like, it's Taker. You got to go crazy for it. So, considering that Roman Reigns went into that match, the champion, I think he entered number 1 because he was the champion. And, just the ramifications of the match. And then just the fact that Triple H came out and Reigns looked like, oh, shit, I didn't went through everything in this match. And now Triple H is here. And, everybody just thought, oh, Roman Reigns is going to win it. He's going to win it 2 years straight. So, yeah, why not? Screw this Rumble. And then just the twist of Triple H winning it. I marked out for it. It's one of my favorite moments.
I marked out too, and I marked out when it came down to Triple H and Dean Ambrose, because then part of me was saying, oh my God, what if Dean Ambrose wins the championship? That would be so awesome.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Then they dropped the ball with that, because after Triple H won, and we had a great start to the build up to Triple H versus Roman Reigns, what happens after everything?
Bada bing.
Yes, after everything the McMahons did to get that fucking title off of Roman Reigns, they gave him a shot at Fastlane.
Yeah,
that made no sense at all. When they came out and announced that, I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like, why?
You should have at least, tried to ruin the relationship more between like Reigns and Ambrose, like break up their lines just to keep making Reigns' life miserable. Just give them the title shot, and also adding Lesnar in there too. Why would Triple H want to face any of these guys? You know what I mean?
And I was at that Fastlane, as we've talked about before, so it just didn't make any sense.
You know what? That Fastlane, I did not like that pay-per-view. The only matches that delivered were Styles and Jericho and the triple threat. And I mean, when I found out it was a triple threat between Brock, Roman, and Ambrose, I was like, oh, this should be a great match. But then it's like, wait a minute. This is the same guy you've been busting your ass to get the freaking title off of. Now you're just going to give him one more chance to get it back. That was typical WWE booking at the time before the brand split. And I mean, I always say this. I'm not saying that booking is easy, because when you're like on NXT or SmackDown and you really want to make your stories compelling, you got to think a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that booking is the easiest job, but you know what they could have done? They could have had Roman Reigns come out, whip the shit out of Vince and Triple H, and then have Stephanie McMahon have Roman arrested and even suspended indefinitely. And then you could have done like an Elimination Chamber match where Roman somehow sneaks into the chamber, screws Triple H over, costs Triple H the title, and then Triple H goes ape shit the next night on Raw, and then Roman Reigns comes back, messes with him again, and says, you know what? You want to get rid of me? Give me one shot to whip your ass. If you beat me, I'll leave. If not, at WrestleMania, I'm walking tall. So you could have done it that way.
Boom.
Yeah, you didn't give them you didn't give the crowd a chance to get to like Roman Reigns in that particular thing. Like, there was no reason for them to like Roman. Like, they didn't put they tried to put the authority against him, but it winded up backfiring because they just winded up giving him everything he wanted in the end anyway. And it didn't make any sense storyline wise. What you just said right there could have worked. But no, we just got that storyline. Here, Roman, we're not going to give you a title match, but we're going to give you a title match. How does that make sense?
Nope, not at all.
I mean, could you just imagine? Roman Reigns screws Triple H out of the championship at Elimination Chamber. Triple H comes out fuming. He wants Roman. Roman comes from behind, beats him up some more. Freaking security tries to pull him apart. And then, like, he keeps getting under Triple H's skin to the point where he says, okay, you know what? Give me one match with you, a chance to fight for my job, and I'll leave your ass alone if I lose. Like, if I win, I get another shot in the future. If I don't, I'm gone.
Right,
yeah.
That was booking.
One versus all, literally. And then you could have
feel important. They didn't make it feel important.
Yeah. But, like you said, Gene, I marked out when Triple H won because I knew because obviously it was going to lead Triple H and Roman. And I was like, perfect. Now you got the perfect way to start building toward this match. And then they just pretty much threw it away. But seeing Triple H win the title was awesome. Him and Ambrose were the final two. That was awesome. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Then they had a good match. Was that the same year they had the match at Roadblock before Roadblock was actually?
Yeah, that wasn't too bad of a match at all.
Yeah, that was a great. I like that match better than the Mania match with him and Reigns.
Oh, anything was better than that match, Gene. Anything.
I tried to give that match a chance, but I couldn't.
I fell
just
asleep
couldn't do
during
it.
Roman and Triple H. It was just so long. Like that match could have just been 15 minutes. It could have been a fight, a street fight, whatever, and then Roman wins. But because WrestleMania was going on overtime,
Oh my god, it was
And
like
they
a
just, like,
7-hour pre-show and
they
then a
just, like,
10-hour Mania.
They just walked through the motions that whole match. Like Triple H, that sledgehammer should be like, you should be like terrified, but you can just tell the way he was like throwing around. It's like, okay, Roman, just hit me wherever you want. Just we'll get this over with.
yeah.
Right.
It's just like there's no momentum at all behind that at all.
I love Triple H because he's doing the best things with the UK tournament, the Cruiserweight Classic, and NXT, of course. And I have to imagine it's frustrating for him to do certain things, especially when he watches like the guys on the cruiserweights just be watered down after he made that tournament and they shine, brighter than ever,
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Sure.
But hey, we're not here to talk negative. We're here to talk our favorite Rumble moments. And yeah, Triple H.
The power of positivity.
POP.
Yep. But yeah, Triple H winning, awesome moment, definitely. And Mike, what do you have for number 4?
Well, again, since most of mine are fairly recent, I'm going to go with something that happened back in 2014, and we're going to stick with Roman Reigns, but on a positive note, when he actually was being written well. I'm going to go with the 2014 Rumble, where he eliminated 12 men. Just being there live in Pittsburgh was actually really sweet seeing that. And at the time, they were building him like the right way. They weren't giving him too far the push at the time, but that 12-man eliminating in the Royal Rumble, he even eliminated his own teammates, Rollins and Ambrose, as you remember, because Dean tried to eliminate him, but then he just knocked like 3 or 4, and then with somebody else out at the same time. So, I mean, I thought it was a good showing, so that's why I gave that to number 4.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
When Daniel Bryan, when Roman Reigns started eliminating guys left and right, I was like, damn, this dude's on a roll. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but freaking one of the eliminations that counted was when Kevin Nash freaking charged at him and went over the top and then freaking let go of the rope.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like he's like, okay, I had enough. Goodbye.
I'm done. Get me out of here.
And then one of the funniest eliminations was he freaking picked up El Torito and threw that sucker over the top rope.
Get him out of here.
Reigns killed in that match.
That back then was Roman Reigns as a machine. That was when he was a badass that really didn't say much and just kicked your ass if you got in his way.
Exactly.
I loved it. And when it came down to him and Batista, I'm like, okay, this is a long shot, but let Roman Reigns eliminate this dude. And no, he got thrown over. He just got thrown over. Batista didn't spine bust him. He didn't hit him with a Batista bomb. He just throws him over. I'm like, really?
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
We were all booing that night when that happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
bet.
All right.
That's a great moment, though.
No, yeah, no. Roman's domination was great. Guys are coming up with some great moments so far. My number 4 pick is from a Royal Rumble match that I just recently rewatched on the WWE Network. And I thought for the most part, this was a good, fun Rumble match. But then when it got to the last 15 minutes, it just got great. And of those 15 minutes, 8 of them were just epic. And that is when Shawn Michaels and Undertaker closed the show in the 2007 Royal Rumble match.
Ooh.
I've seen that one like once, maybe. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, like my friend James on his We Are Pro Wrestling channel said, that Royal Rumble match is a Royal Rumble match that started off good, then it became great with the final 4, and then the last 8 minutes were some of the best, if not the best, in Royal Rumble history. You had Shawn Michaels, and his story was he had his issues with rated RKO. Triple H got injured. He wanted one last shot at WrestleMania at being in the main event for the title. Then you had Undertaker. He was on his own journey to be in the main event of WrestleMania. They're in the final 4 with rated RKO, which was great because Edge was the Iron Man of that Rumble.
Yeah.
Shawn eliminated Edge, Orton, and it's down to Shawn and Taker. And what made that so epic was the fact that the last time they were in a Royal Rumble together, it was 98, the casket match where Shawn injured his back. And then Shawn he took time off.
Spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took time off.
Break.
Yeah. And then he came back. He became a born-again Christian. He had an incredible run. He looked better than ever. But because of the brand split, Shawn and Taker were never on the same show. The only interaction they had was at the Royal Rumble that year. And for the 8-9 minutes they went at it, it was just incredible. It was just, I watched it again, and I just had this big smile on my face because I was like, it's edge of your seat. It's edge of your seat entertainment. They're going at it. You know, they keep getting close to eliminating each other. Shawn got chokeslammed. You know, Taker went for the tombstone, and then he got sweet chin music, and then comes that moment where Shawn's going for a super kick to repeat what he did against Diesel. Taker caught him, flipped him, and it was over. Taker won the Rumble match, but it was just awesome. Even in the Shawn Michaels solidified why he was one of the best with that performance against The Undertaker. The best final two in the history of the Royal Rumble. Personal favorite of mine because those are two of my all-time favorites. I mean, Shawn Michaels is number 1 and Taker's number 2. So to see them go at it, and when it happened live, I was on the edge of my seat because I wanted Shawn to win. My younger cousin wanted Taker to win. So it was just like, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Because there were so many moments where it looked like one of them was going over. And then in the end, Shawn got dumped out. I was like, oh, damn. But then I was like, it's Taker. You can't hate Taker. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
bro, definitely.
That was epic. I love those 8 minutes that they went at it. Just the story they told in that short amount of time was just incredible.
What were they willing to do to go to WrestleMania? Who was going to go that extra mile? It was just incredible.
They were going to kill each other.
Yes.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
And Taker was busted open from a chair shot earlier by, I think it was Edge or Orton.
Oh yeah,
one of them busted.
I think it was
Taker open.
Yep, they sure did do that too. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That Rumble is very underrated, and it's a good Rumble. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a bad Rumble that the only real notable moment is Taker versus Shawn. It's a good, fun Rumble, you know, and then it just gets, when it gets to the Final Four, it's great, and when it's down to Shawn and Taker, it's incredible.
Yep, for sure.
Pretty much.
All right. So, Gene, what do you have on your list for number 3?
Okay, Robbie, I'm gonna have to go with what you said a little bit earlier in your moments, and it was definitely when John Cena returned in Madison Square Garden. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because you pretty much covered it all. But me being like one of Cena's top fans in the world for such a long time, him returning from that injury in such a short amount of time, and just like you said, the pop that he received from Madison Square Garden, of all places, was just incredible. Nobody saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody did. And it was just one of my favorite moments of all time.
Yeah, definitely. One of the biggest moments in Cena's career. And that still gives me goosebumps, like I said, watching it. So
it really does.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. And what do you have, Mike, for number 3 on your list?
All right. So number 3, this is actually involves somebody who, like I said, I didn't really get to watch too much of him around the time when he was really around. So I watched him a lot of his stuff on the network just to get a lot more invested to him. And I understand that the 2010 pay-per-view for the Royal Rumble wasn't really that great overall, but one moment that just stands out to me was Edge's returning the Rumble that year. I believe he was gone with an Achilles injury, as far as I know.
Yes.
And I think he was supposed to be out till like maybe like March or April or May. And I think he even said in that promo there was a chance he may have never came back. But just the pop, I mean, probably not as good as Cena at Madison Square Garden, but the pop he got that night when he returned at number 29 was just unreal. And I just continue to watch more to try to get more invested in Edge because he's just someone who I just been interested in looking at up and more. But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite Edge moments, and in the Rumbles as well. So that's my number 3.
Yeah, that was a Rumble. I saw that Rumble match. It's all right. Like, the thing for me is I was rooting for Shawn Michaels to win because he had the feud with Undertaker going on.
Oh yeah, it's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And you know what? Well, I'll save this for when we get to one of my memories. But yeah, you know, when Edge came back, I didn't see that coming because I mean he tore his Achilles. It's not like he sprained his ankle or might have broken one of his toes where you can recover from that. No, an Achilles, a torn Achilles is no joke. No. I mean, I'm gonna make a wrestling reference, but you guys ever saw that movie Hostel?
No,
okay. I haven't.
Yeah, no. There's a horror film called Hostel from Eli Roth. It's a torture film, and one form of torture is the guy gets his Achilles heel slit. And it's pretty brutal. It's pretty graphic.
Oh my god!
Just Achilles tendons. Well, they're very tender, ligaments. So you need them to keep your balance and stand up and whatnot. But yeah, when that happened to Edge, you had no idea if he was going to come back or if he could even, recuperate that fast or whatnot. Comes back in the Royal Rumble. And remember Chris Jericho's look? Like Jericho had a shiner, I think.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was a man that Edge was going for because of after what he said about him at the Slammies in 2009, I believe.
Yeah. Or 2000.
That was definitely a great moment.
What did he say again? It's like something he carried the team or something.
Yeah, he's like something like I just like to thank the long forgotten Edge for it, and I can't remember what he said after that, but something along that line. But pretty much just dissed on Edge, saying, hey, I'm the better one here, but you're long forgotten. No one's gonna remember you, and you're never gonna be back, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you pretty much figured that they were gonna do something when Edge returned with him and Jericho.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much buried him.
Edge was gonna win the Rumble. Jericho was gonna win the title, and then they were gonna clash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So before I get to my number 3, I wanted to actually add something to my number 4 that Mike reminded me of, and it was what I loved so much about Taker and Shawn in the end of the 2007 Royal Rumble was the continuity and what happened years after that. And the 3 years that followed from that Rumble match led to some great things between them. 2000.
Oh yes.
They started the Rumble match. Taker was number 1. Shawn was number 2. And when you think about it, Taker number 1, he was the last man standing, and then Shawn number 2, the runner-up. So
yeah,
that's very that way.
That's true.
They had a great start off to the match, and then of course 2009, 2010, their incredible matches at WrestleMania. The one at 25, the best, freaking incredible. My personal pick for match of the year, one of my all-time favorites. You'll never replicate the magic of that night because that was the first time they did the WrestleMania showdown. And while the rematch at 26 is another incredible match, don't get me wrong, 25 has, you know what 25 has? 25 has it.
It had it.
It definitely holds a special place. Yeah.
It's so special that oh my God, that WrestleMania feel to it. And you're thinking, oh my God, is this the year the streak ends? Is Shawn Michaels going to end it? Because think of the mind games he played with Taker. The coffin, him in the casket or hiding behind the casket. Him in the graveyard kicking the tombstone over. That was great, man. He had Taker so pissed. And he had Taker on the verge of like paranoia, so to speak.
That's everything you wanted from a WrestleMania match, including the build to it, like you said. Like, just getting you hyped up for that showdown and the biggest stage of all for the WWE, and then the actual match, how they just tore the place down. It's going to be very hard to replicate that match in the near future.
They'll never replicate that match.
So incredible.
Plus the long-term booking also it's had.
Every week I tuned into Raw to see in SmackDown to see what Shawn Michaels was going to do next to get under Undertaker's skin. When he freaking dressed up like Taker in the white garb.
Oh my God.
That was what does Taker do? He pops up from the smoke and nearly gets Shawn. It was great. And Shawn's like, no, you didn't get me this time. And Taker's like, gonna blow a gasket.
Yes. Oh, man. If anybody was, before Brock, completely just took the streak, if anybody was even, remotely close to doing it, it was Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, I totally agree. Shawn had Taker's number multiple times. And then, but he was so close, and you really felt like he was going to beat Taker at 25. You felt like Taker's time was up.
I thought it was. I really thought it was over.
Incredible match. That's why they're 2 of my all-time favorites. So moving on to my number 3 moment on this list, I have to give a big shout-out to Gene because, like you said, when we were talking about these moments, we didn't have to necessarily limit them to the Rumble match. It could have been backstage. It could have been a segment in the ring. It could have been commentary or something. And Gene reminded me of my favorite backstage moment from a Royal Rumble match. He had his backstage moment. This is my backstage moment. From 2005, it was when Eddie Guerrero stole Ric Flair's number.
Oh, my God.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God. Classic
I almost
Eddie.
missed this, but I just thought about it, and it is one of the best freaking Royal Rumble moments ever. You have Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair. Look, this is what I love about this. Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair are drawing their numbers together. Eddie Guerrero doesn't look too happy with his number. Ric Flair is so happy with his number. Now, what I liked about this moment was, even though Flair was a heel and Eddie was a face, they had that moment where they embraced each other and wished each other good luck. And that was great because they have mutual respect for each other, you know?
Right.
So that was great to see. I really enjoy that.
Right.
And Ric Flair's happy. He's dancing and styling and profiling. He shows Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff what his number is. And I remember Teddy Long is like, "You want to look your number again, player?" He looks at it,
player.
yeah, and he looks at it, and it's like, he's like, "What?" And he's like, he's trying to figure out, where's my number? Where's my number? And then he freaking realizes Eddie Guerrero took his number. And then Eddie backstage with Teddy Long is like, "Eddie, give it to me." And then Eddie gives him this really cool handshake. It's like, "You know I love you, Holmes." And it's like, "Eddie, give me Ric Flair's number." And Eddie's like, "Ooh, what do you need? Phone number?" Or it's like, "Eddie, I don't have time to play around with you. I know you stole Ric Flair's number. Now, player, you gotta give it to me." And then Evolution, they barge in there, and Eddie runs behind not Ric Flair. He runs behind Teddy Long, and you know Teddy's trying to calm things down, and then Triple H is like, "Yo, cough it up, jumping bean."
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is a good one." And then he gives Ric Flair his number, and as they leave, Teddy Long grabs Eddie. He's like, "Eddie." He holds his hand out again, and I'm thinking, the first time I saw him, I'm thinking, what else? Did he take something else? He gives Teddy Long Ric Flair's wallet, and then Ric Flair's like, "What's my wallet?" And he's just like goes crazy. It was priceless.
Gotta love Eddie, man. You gotta love Eddie.
Oh, jeez.
God bless Eddie. I miss Eddie. You know, it's sad he died as soon as he did, unexpectedly. But that is a moment I'll never forget. He freaking took Ric Flair's number, and I don't know how he did this, but he took his wallet.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but Eddie found a way to do so.
That was priceless, and it was just great. And the stuff he did with Teddy Long, where he's like, you know, "Give me Rick's number," and it's like, "Oh, you need phone number or something?" Like,
what are they, Holmes? What do you mean?
Yeah. You know I love you, Holmes.
Come on, player. I'm gonna put you in the tag team match, player. Give me the number, player.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Number 2. Okay, Gene, what do you have for number 2 on your list?
Okay, I'm pretty sure both of you have this probably as your number 1, but it's number 2 to me, even though I want to put it at number 1, but there's something else that's just a little bit better to me. But number 2 is nothing short of, wait for it,
I know it's
phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
The phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Debuting last year in the Royal Rumble match. When I say I marked out, I don't just mean I jumped out of my seat. I mean, I almost jumped out of my window. Okay. I've been following AJ Styles just about as long as I've been following John Cena. And just the dream of having AJ Styles in the WWE and then hearing that he's signed and then just waiting and anticipating him coming into the WWE. And then he hopped in at number 3 in the Royal Rumble match last year. It was just incredible. The crowd lost it. The crowd went crazy. They were absolutely bonkers. My mom was yelling at me because I went crazy. It was just one of my favorite moments, not only in the Royal Rumble moments, but of all time. Just AJ Styles, the presence that man possesses, and just looking at what he's done now in 1 year's time, just the impact that he has, it was just a great moment because I knew what was coming next.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Mike, you probably have this on your list, right?
Yes, that actually is my number 2, the debut of AJ Styles. I mean, I didn't really know. I knew some much about AJ Styles last year, but not as much as probably you guys did. But what I really liked about his debut was the placement and how good of his debut it was. Because, one, they put him out at number 3, and they had you like wondering, who the heck is this guy at first, before they actually realized when I saw those spare footage on YouTube when it said phenomenal, that's when everybody knew it was him. But what I liked was that they didn't do too little with him, but they didn't do too much at the same time. They gave him like a very comfortable debut. Just allow him to, you know, say, "Hey, I'm here," show what he can do. And I think he lasted like 28 minutes in the Rumble. Like
lasted 30 minutes, yeah.
yeah, about that. Like it was just like a nice pace how it had through the entire year. Because this is a guy where he's only gonna be around for maybe maybe 5-6 years, maybe longer, who knows? But he doesn't have as much time as some of these other guys have that are going to be around in the WWE. But I mean, the pace they had, the amount of time they gave him, like I just thought it was just a solid debut for him overall.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna say it right now, and then my number 2 pick I'll finish with that. But number 1 on my list is AJ Styles' debut in the Royal Rumble match, the Phenomenal One's arrival. I mean, I didn't jump out my window, but I marked out when I saw it. I was so I had goosebumps. I was like shaking. I was like, oh my God, he's here! It was so exciting.
For sure.
The placement of AJ was perfect because I think if they did number 30. He would have got a nice ovation from the crowd, but what made it so impactful was Roman Reigns was in the ring after eliminating Rusev. Number 3 comes. You hear that choir-like music. When you hear that crowd pop, you know it was something big, and you probably knew it was AJ. And I was just wanted to see if it was AJ. And when he came out, I marked out, and then he went out and had a strong showing. Did he eliminate? He eliminated Tyler Breeze, right? Did he eliminate anybody?
Yeah,
I think he did.
I feel like he did eliminate Tyler Breeze. But yeah, like when that music hit, I was just like, wait, huh? Who is this? And then like you just hear it for a second, and then you hear the crowd go, oh! Yeah. I'm like, who the hell is it? And then it turned and said Phenomenal. I'm like, no way, no freaking way. And I just, like I said, jumped out my window, but I didn't really jump out the window, but I was close. I was close.
Okay. They did shortly after he debuted, they released the video that says unseen footage of AJ Styles' debut, which is just the Titantron, and then people were thinking, oh, well, maybe it's him backstage or maybe it's him getting ready, but you see the I and the M, and then when it says Phenomenal, that's when everybody just goes ape shit.
They were just like the build up in their voices. Yeah, it was unreal.
Yeah,
like you hear them getting excited because, like, okay, this is somebody new. What the fuck? Am what? Foot. And then holy shit.
Yeah. So okay. That was me pretty much. That was me. I was like, AJ. Anyway, let me see. AJ eliminated Tyler Breeze along with Roman Reigns, and then AJ also eliminated Curtis Axel. So AJ lasted almost 29 minutes practically, and then Roman lasted 59:48, and Jericho lasted 51:20.
Jeez.
51:20. That is crazy. Oh, but hey, look at this. This is funny. I just came across this. Okay, so remember how Sami Zayn showed up in the Rumble last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember who eliminated him?
Was it Kevin Owens?
Somebody from the Wyatt family?
It was someone from the Wyatt family, which is very ironic because
the Braun Strowman.
Wait.
Braun Strowman eliminated him last year.
Huh? I forgot about that.
Now I don't know if this is a coincidence that he's got a feud with Braun Strowman, but that's kind of continuity when you think about it.
Damn, that's continuity at its best. Holy crap!
I don't know if that was pure luck on the part of Raw's writing staff, but yeah, he was eliminated by Strowman, and he's got this feud with Strowman. So now I think it's only fitting he eliminates Strowman, unless Strowman eliminates him again.
Dang, then he's got 2 up on him in the Rumble match.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I eliminated you twice, bro.
But anyway, not trying to distract. Yes, my number 1 is AJ Styles debuting last year. What a phenomenal debut for him. So guys, what is your number? So we'll start with Eugene. What's your number 1 pick?
Okay, my number 1 pick for Royal Rumble moments. I spoke about it a little bit earlier, but I didn't exactly talk about the match itself. It was the Royal Rumble match, but it was just what happened and the reasons why it happened and the emotions behind it. And it's the 2006 Royal Rumble, and it's Rey Mysterio winning the whole thing after being number 2 overall. Just like him pulling the number and talking to Eddie the whole time.
Oh,
he dedicated that match to Eddie Guerrero. And then even like I said, going to pull his number. He's like, Eddie, you got me again.
Yeah.
But he went out there. He lasted an hour and 2 minutes in that match.
Yeah.
And just the emotional tone of that match. You know, after Eddie had died like a few months back, and you know he was just doing the tribute. He came out in the lowrider. He had the Eddie Guerrero rest in peace shirt on, and it was just incredible. And then just the crowd popping after he eliminated Randy Orton at the end of that to win the whole match. It was just one of my favorite moments because you know. Just like I said, the emotions that were surrounding that match because of, you know, how on edge they were because Eddie had passed and it was just so sudden. And then one of his best friends, you know, tributed that match to him and went out there and won it.
Yeah.
It was just incredible.
That was definitely. I have to say this, though. They went a little too far when Orton cut that infamous promo. You know what it is. I won't say it, you know, out of respect for Eddie, but you know what promo I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went
way too far.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean Rey Mysterio, I was like, Rey is another one who's in my top 5 of all-time favorites. And I marked out for when he won because honestly, it was either going to be him or Triple H. And Triple H was going in he ran through that Rumble like a machine, you know.
He did.
Yeah. And you know, it came down to him, Ray, and Orton. I think RVD was in the 4th one, right? He was
RVD was like the 4th one.
I remember.
Yeah, RVD.
I just watched it today, so I just got invested into that match. I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually wonder what would have happened had Ray eliminated Triple H last and not Randy Orton. You know, that would have been interesting. But Ray winning in honor of Eddie, that's great. You know, I just feel like there were certain parts of that feud and honoring Eddie where it may have been excessive or it went a little too far. Like Orton's promo was way too far. That shouldn't have happened. Even right afterwards, Edge went to him and was just like, he just took it too far as well. Like Ray was obviously crying real, you know, emotional tears because of, you know, what had just happened and how he dedicated the match to him. And then Edge is like, oh, don't get your hopes up. You're just going to let Eddie down. Don't think about jumping ship to Raw to face me for the title because you're just going to ruin the whole thing. And like, he just killed the mood. And like, he was surrounded by like Chavo, I think Dean Malenko, and I forgot who else was standing there too. But like, they did take it too far. I think Batista said Eddie's in hell or something, or was that Randy who did that? Eddie said no. Randy said that first, and then Batista said Eddie's not here because Eddie's dead.
Oh
yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
they went too far.
Yeah, no, which is still a little bold. I mean, I think about Batista, how emotional he was during the Eddie tribute show, where he says he doesn't want to sound like a selfish son of a bitch, but he'd give anything to have Eddie back, you know. So
yeah,
that was emotional. Yeah. But no, let's not take away from Ray winning because it was an emotional win. And I just think WWE could have just used the program with him and Orton a little better. Like, you know, if you're going to have Ray channel Eddie, dedicate everything to Eddie, there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't let it be too excessive. Don't let it get over, you know, don't let it get too out of hand, like with Orton, what he said, you know, just.
Yeah, they didn't need to go that far.
Have him dedicated to Eddie, have him fight his way to WrestleMania, no matter what the circumstance, and then have him win that championship. So yeah, was definitely happy when Rey Mysterio won the 2006 Royal Rumble. Beautiful moment for him, emotional Royal Rumble. And I just remembered this because two of these guys are on SmackDown. The Spirit Squad kicked off the Royal Rumble.
Oh my god!
Oh, the Spirit Squad.
Oh my god! Young Nikki Ziggler.
Nikki!
They did the whole chant. They cut off Lillian Garcia. They killed her gimmick. They were just like, screw your introduction. We coming out to do our cheer.
Yeah.
Spirit Squad.
All right.
It was so cringeworthy. Yeah.
Great pick there, Gene. Great picks from you.
Yes, definitely.
So, Mike, what is your number one pick for favorite Royal Rumble moment?
Well, we're probably not going to talk about this one too much because we already did twice already, but my number one pick was actually Cena returning in 2008 as well.
Yeah,
very probably, you know, improbable injury to return from. Like, probably supposed to be out for 7-8 months, like I said earlier. He comes out after only being out for 2 months. Like, you wouldn't expect Cena to come back at all, but the pop he got was just unreal. I mean, yeah, they booed and rest away, like you guys said, but that was just an unreal moment. I don't think I've ever seen a Royal Rumble crowd go as nuts as Cena did when he happened. They were probably just shocked when he just came out.
Yeah, and again, you know, you had Jerry Lawler on commentary for that match, Coach, Michael Cole, Taz, Joey Styles. I was thinking Joey Styles, but JR, just the way JR.
Yes.
So yeah, that was like, that's why JR is the best, you know. So that was awesome. Definitely.
For sure.
All right. So since my number 1 was Gene and Mike's number 2, of course, AJ's debut, we're gonna finish the Rumble moments with my number 2 pick, which is from the 2002 Royal Rumble, and it is one of the most shocking eliminations of all time, and it is when Maven eliminated the Undertaker.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
So
I couldn't believe he did that.
So yeah, watch this, guys. So boys and girls, let me just give you a little history on who Maven is, if you don't know who he is. Maven won a competition called Tough Enough. Yes,
Tough Enough.
Before the 2011 and 2015 revivals. And Maven was the inaugural champion. And Maven's prize was, well, he had a trophy that looked like a brick that said Tough Enough on it.
A brick trophy. Oh, man.
A spot in the Royal Rumble match. So the Undertaker enters the Royal Rumble match at, what was it, 5 or 6 or something like that? Okay, anyway, the Undertaker early in the match.
I think so. I forgot.
And he just kicks ass, and he eliminates Goldust, Billy Gunn, Al Snow, the returning Hardy Boys, and Undertaker's just taking control. He's got
his holes and taking
souls.
I dug 29 holes for 29 souls.
Yeah.
The Undertaker's in the ring. He's kicking ass. He's running the yard. And then out comes Maven. And Undertaker's just like, this guy's next. And Jerry King Lawler says, well, you better put a clock on Maven, because before you know it, Maven comes in, boom, he hits with a big foot. Undertaker's got him on his shoulder, gonna throw him over. Lita gets involved. Lita's calling out Taker. Taker pie faces her off the apron. The Hardy Boys get back in, and this was after they got eliminated, and they go after Taker, but Taker eliminates him again. Taker tells the Hardy Boys to get their ass out of his yard, and then Maven comes from behind, drop kicks the Undertaker, sends the Undertaker over the top rope, and Atlanta just went insane. They cheered wildly. JR called it perfectly. Undertaker's got this what the fuck look on his face.
Oh, jeez. From Tough Enough, really?
I didn't dig enough holes for enough souls.
He turns around and looks at Maven like, you just kicked me out of the ring, like, and Maven's got that look on his face like, oh shit, like,
did I just eliminate you?
Yeah.
I'd be stunned myself.
That was great. And then what happens? Undertaker just starts digging a hole for Maven's soul.
Pretty much.
Digging a hole for your soul.
He cracks him over the head with a steel chair. He busts him open. He beats him up in the crowd. And this is the most hilarious part of that whole freaking thing. They're fighting near a popcorn vending machine. He throws Maven headfirst into the popcorn vendor, and freaking Jerry the King Lawler's like, oh, they got Orville Redenbacher there.
Oh my goodness.
Undertaker, I love this. Undertaker grabs popcorn, eats it, and King's like, oh, you want some butter with that?
You want some butter with that, please? A little salt.
That was priceless. That was great. And I love how they tried to play it off again in 2003 when Undertaker returned at number 30 and he eliminated some guys and Maven drop kicked him. But this time Undertaker wasn't even near the ropes. So Maven drop kicked him into the ropes, and then Maven starts jumping around, and Taker's with his hands on his hips and is like, yeah, nice try, son. Grabs him by the throat, choke slam. Love that.
Get out.
If Maven had any great moments in WWE in his short run, that was probably the greatest. The fact that he drop kicked the Undertaker over the top rope.
It eliminated him from the Royal Rumble match, and then got his soul taken.
Then he ended up getting his. Then Taker dug a hole from him pretty much for his soul. But
and haven't seen him since.
Let's not forget that Maven won the hardcore title from the Undertaker with the help of The Rock. So that's another great moment for Maven.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Whatever happened to him? Like, he's just gone. Did the Undertaker really take his soul or something?
Okay, so he was supposed to be, or he was actually in, if you guys remember Survivor Series 2014, it was Team Orton versus Team Triple H, and Maven was actually on Team Orton. But then Gene Snitsky, you guys remember Snitsky?
Heard of him.
It wasn't my fault.
He eliminated, he beat up Maven in the back, and then Maven came out to try to help his team out, and Snitsky kicked the shit out of him some more. So Maven was on the winning team, but Maven didn't get offense in. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh man!
Before there was Braun Strowman, there was Snitsky.
Killing babies and all that other stuff.
But yeah, that'll do it, guys. That'll do it for our Royal Rumble moments. Now, since Daniel Giza isn't with us today, he did text me a list of his favorite moments and matches. So I'm going to go through those real quick. So his top 5 favorite Royal Rumble moments are number 5, AJ's debut last year. Number 4, Cena's return in 2008. Number 3, The Rock winning the title at Royal Rumble 2013 from CM Punk.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, The Undertaker and HBK in the final 2 of the 2007 Royal Rumble match. And then number 1, now this is really clever because he included a personal Royal Rumble moment I never even thought about. His trip to the 2014 Royal Rumble.
Wow. Okay.
I was there with him that night.
That's his number 1 favorite moment. So that was a great pick for number 1. That was, and it's a personal moment, so that's really, really cool. So kudos to Daniel for those moments. And now we're gonna move on to top 5 favorite Royal Rumble matches. So this time let's have well, real quick, guys. I'm just gonna check out the chat, and I want to give a shout out to TN Couponer and John 15 HD. They're the most common guys that tune into the live stream, so thanks for joining, guys. He said that Maven worked on HSN on the football show.
Oh wow, really?
Oh wow,
I didn't know that.
Jeez.
And then he also said, I forgot about the cheerleaders in the WWE.
The cheerleaders. Oh man.
Yeah. And then he pretty much said a lot of like what we said about Roman's booking and Eddie, stealing Ric Flair's number, and Cena's, or yeah, both Cena and AJ getting the pops that they got. All right, so let's go on to top 5 Royal Rumble matches, and this time I'm going to have Mike kick us off. So Mike, what is number 5 on your list?
All right, so matches, I mean, number 5 was just one that I just put out there because this is for a personal moment. It was the first ever Royal Rumble match I ever watched. Actually, it's the first ever pay-per-view I actually watched, which I watched it with Dan back in 2013. So I know the 2013 Royal Rumble was really the greatest, but I just put it as number 5 because that's just the first one I ever watched.
Yeah. Anything about that Rumble that stuck out to you, Mike, or just the fact that it was your first Rumble that you ever saw?
More so, it was just the first one I ever saw. I mean, I just remember Cena winning that night. He eliminated Ryback last. This match between Punk and Rock was the first time I got to see CM Punk wrestle, and first time I saw The Rock wrestle. So, just pretty much just wanted to get it out there. Number 5.
Yeah, definitely. I remember actually mentioning in 2013, Dolph Ziggler coming out. He was number 1, and he was talking the big game, and he didn't care who number 2 was. So he's like,
Chris Jericho.
And it was Jericho. And I was like, oh, snap, Jericho's back. And he got quite a pop from the crowd when he returned. Because I remember seeing the boom, 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 boom. And I'm thinking, just like, for some reason, I thought it was Kane. I was like, Kane? And then I see Jericho, and I'm thinking, oh, shit, it's Jericho. Like, yes.
Right.
That was the first time I saw Jericho returns. Because didn't him and Ziggler have like a feud that ended Jericho's run back in 2012 also?
They did.
It's trying to continue to continue on. So both of them lasted like 45, 50 minutes in the Rumble that year, I think?
They lasted a pretty long time, yeah. Like I could look it up if you want, but yeah, they lasted pretty long.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. 2013. I also remember like Sheamus in that Rumble trying to eliminate Ryback with the bro kick, and Ryback threw that sumbitch over the
oh jeez.
You guys remember that?
Yes, I remember when you were saying that.
Oh my goodness.
And also, there was like some tension going between Daniel Bryan and Kane that time when they were with Team Hell No. Didn't like like Kane got thrown out, but then Bryan got thrown out, and then Kane caught him. He's like, no, and he just dropped him on the ground like that.
Oh my God, Team Hell No was hilarious.
You're right. Ziggler almost hit the 50-minute mark at 49:47. Jericho lasted 47:53.
Yeah, not too bad.
Dang.
Yikes.
That is impressive. And the other thing I remember real quick before we go to Gene's number 5 was that that Royal Rumble 2013 saw a early appearance of a young gentleman named Bo Dallas.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
This was before he was Bo Leave. He came out with like biker shorts and some gloves, like if he was like a Hardy Boy or something, which I thought was cool.
Right.
And then he unfortunately got nowhere. Unfortunately,
nowhere. Still has gone nowhere. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? I'm looking at Bo Dallas's time. He was in that match for 21 minutes and 42 seconds.
What?
Really?
Jeez, I didn't realize he was in there for that long.
Goodness.
Now
I didn't either.
It's a shame that he hasn't really done much on the main roster. But you know what I'd like to see is if Bray Wyatt turns face and Orton and Harper turn heel on him, if Bray Wyatt needs backup, why doesn't he bring his brother?
Right.
Yeah, he's that
former NXT champion.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want
with
to say something real quick. I wish they would acknowledge former NXT champions more. Does anybody ever remember Big E?
Yes, the 5-count gimmick.
Yes, and he was a former NXT champion. They never mentioned that. One person mentioned it to me, and I was like, why don't they ever mention it on Raw or SmackDown? Well, I mean, he's on Raw, but still, I don't know if they mentioned like Balor, Owens. Yes, they were notable NXT champions, but I think NXT deserves a little more recognition that way. Why not mention Big E's a former NXT champion? Dallas is a former NXT. Bo's a former NXT champion. Seth was the inaugural NXT champion. So I don't understand why they don't acknowledge that much.
Right. Like Neville could include that with his, whole thing in the cruiserweight division now. Like I've been to the top, so I'm getting back up to the top again. Like his whole, heel persona that he's doing now. So I don't know why they don't acknowledge it.
Hey Vince, if you're listening, hire the 3 of us and Daniel Giza. You want us to make it great again? We can. We'll make it 2 hours. You can give us superstars to work with, and we'll come up with great stuff for them.
Because Dan's not here, I gotta do this. Dan, if you're watching, we're going to make Raw great again. I had to do it. Because I know Dan won't be doing that.
Hold on. Mike, actually, Dan's right here. Just let me get him real quick.
Sure.
And hello, one and all. Welcome to this Royal Rumble.
Oh, my God.
We're going to take a look at everything that happened on the January 22nd edition of Botch Squad Podcast and SmackDown Live. And I got to tell you guys, once again, this is the flagship show. SmackDown Live once again proves why they are the...
We love you, Daniel. We love you.
That's so perfect, Daniel. If you're watching this and you see that moment where I do an impersonation of you, man, hey, we love you, man. If we ever need Daniel Giza number 2,
oh my gosh, you're perfect fill-in.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
Oh my God,
that was great.
Water. I need some water. Okay, what do you have at number 5 on your Royal Rumble match list?
Okay, I'm pretty much going to go off of my top Royal Rumble moment, which is the 2006 Royal Rumble. Like I said, I rewatched it today, and just like the card itself, it didn't look like it was that great. But then once I rewatched it and everything, I realized how good of a show it was. Like Gregory Helms wasn't the Hurricane anymore. He came over from Raw, won the Cruiserweight Championship. The Mickie James thing with her and Trish, their storyline continuing. You had the Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
Yeah, she loved Trish. We had the Boogeyman versus JBL. And this was right after the Boogeyman bit off whatever the hell was on Jillian Hall's face. Yeah. I don't know what that abscess, he chewed that up, I guess, like a few SmackDowns before the Rumble.
Yes, I remember that. That was a crazy you know what's funny? I don't mean to cut you off, Gene. Just real quick.
Oh, you're good. No, go ahead.
I watched that and I'm like, they make that look like it's a gummy bear or some kind of gummy substance, so you can chew it. But still, yeah.
It looked so disgusting. It actually happened.
I remember seeing her for the first time. I'm like, what the fuck is that on her face?
Yeah, I was like, yo, what are they doing? What is this?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, Jillian Hall back then, I saw her recently because she got some plastic surgery. Like, she still looks good, but back then she was really pretty. So why didn't you just bring her in as like a beautiful as hell? What was she, a makeover consultant or something?
I think so. I think
Something like
so. Then they just turned her into the
Just,
singing.
whatever. I mean, they did what they did, but they just brought her in. What they should have done was she should have been with Eminem as their makeover consultant, and then like really gotten over with them, and then Melina got jealous, and you could have done Mickey and Jillian. Or not
Melina and Jillian.
Yeah.
That could have actually worked. It would have, got her over. They would have got the exposure with her, and then Melina getting jealous could have set up something between them.
Yeah, get that nasty mole off Jillian's face. Let her come out looking like a freaking blonde beauty. Have her be Eminem's new PR person, since they were trying to get the belts back. And then the more that she assists them, and the more Melina's not as much of a factor, then Melina gets jealous to the point where, hey, who brought you boys into the WWE? I did, not her. And then she like fires Jillian or beats her up or something, and then Jillian becomes a wrestler. Because then, of course, years later,
she did
Jillian
anyway.
tried to become a tone deaf Britney Spears.
Oh my goodness,
man!
Oh my goodness, I got so tired of her and her singing. And I think she can actually sing pretty well, but they just made it to where she sung horribly.
That was the gimmick. That was the whole gimmick.
That was the gimmick. Oh my goodness, that was incredible.
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Gene, go ahead. What was your favorite? What else did you enjoy about that Rumble match?
Like I said, Rey Mysterio winning, the emotional, tone of that match, and him tributing it to Eddie, and then we had John Cena and Edge for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Where Cena won the title, and then we had Kurt Angle beating Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight title as well. So just overall, I enjoyed that whole Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Okay, so for this category, Gene, do you have the Royal Rumble pay-per-views or the actual Royal Rumble matches you enjoyed?
Well, the Royal Rumble match of this year I definitely enjoyed, but I was just saying, overall I love the pay-per-view from top to bottom.
So real quick, before I get to my number 5 pick, since we were talking about Jillian Hall, well, SmackDown back in the day was still good, but you know what happens when you put a nasty ass mole on Jillian Hall's face when she was really pretty?
Oh, jeez.
You know what happens, WWE?
You know what happens, Vince?
You just made the list. You just made the list.
Yes, you just made the list.
Somebody just got put on the list.
All right, this has been a ball. I love this. So
yes.
So my number 5 favorite Royal Rumble match is 2002. I actually own that Royal Rumble on DVD. I think that's a good underrated show for the most part. The Royal Rumble match itself I thought was great. Of course, the story going in was the return of Triple H, and you guys pretty much knew he was going to win the Royal Rumble. It was just a matter of would he eliminate Austin, would he eliminate Angle, Undertaker. I thought it was a great Rumble match. It had a funny start with Rikishi at number 1 and Goldust at number 2. And then I remember Big Boss Man came in. He got a stink face. And then the next thing you know, he gets a super kick from Rikishi and goes over the top rope. But don't worry, I'm not going through every elimination. I'm just the things that stuck out to me. And then Undertaker coming in, kicking ass. And, before he even coined the freaking phrase, he was digging holes and taking souls. And then, of course, Maven eliminating him and Undertaker throwing his head to a popcorn vendor. DDP was in the Royal Rumble match for a short time. When Stone Cold came into the match, that was great. He was just whipping ass left and right. He eliminated guys so fast that he said, screw it. I'll throw your ass back in the ring, beat you up, and throw you over the top rope again. And then, of course, it came down to him and Triple H, that epic face-off. Triple H's entrance felt epic. And then you had some other great returns like The Godfather. And he brought out 12 women, I think, with him.
Yeah, I think so.
He brought out 12 women, and then he was in the match for, I think, a minute. But that was great. Val Venus returned. Mr. Perfect returned, and the crowd went wild for him. He made it to the Final 4. Kurt Angle entered his very first Royal Rumble match. It was just a great match, just a lot of fun moments and entrance and everything. And in the end, Triple H eliminated Kurt Angle to win the 2002 Royal Rumble, go on to WrestleMania. So, that was the very first Royal Rumble DVD I bought, mainly because it was Triple H versus, Triple H winning the Rumble. But still a good still a great, fun Royal Rumble match. I think it's a little underrated. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. That's why it's number 5 on my list. It's a great, fun Rumble match with some fun moments in it.
Oh yeah.
All right. Sweet.
All right, Mike. Number 4 on your list.
Number 4, I chose the 2008 Rumble. Again, as we talked earlier, you know, the whole thing with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker starting it off 1 and 2, the last 2 who lasted also. It was just a really stacked Rumble. We had CM Punk get the Intercontinental Champion in there. We had Batista get in there. And, you know, again, like you said earlier, the momentum was on Triple H to win that Rumble. And then, of course, Cena appearing at number 30 was the big shocker. But just like the whole setup also was like so different. I mean, I don't know the reason why it was like they had the door in the back of the view instead of on the side usually is, but I just thought it was really different. Just the fact it's in Madison Square Garden and just the crowd and everything. I thought it was just really exciting Rumble to watch.
Yeah, that's what, you know what's unique is that whenever they do a pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden, they like to have the entrances in like the center of the arena. So, like, I remember Survivor Series 2002, it had those open doors. WrestleMania, well, no, WrestleMania had a graphic marquee, but the entrance was like where it normally is. But yeah, like those doors opening and Cena coming out, and like just the way he stood in the entrance ramp with his face smiling, like smug look, like shit, man, he's ready. He's just feeling himself right there. Like that's awesome, you know.
It's like, I got you guys.
You thought I wasn't coming back, huh? Kind of early, huh?
The early stages of Super Cena.
He recovered like Super Cena.
Pretty much, yeah.
That was quite a return. But then every time he gets injured and then he comes back right away, it's like, yeah, it's not so special anymore. You know?
Yeah.
I've been there, done that, Cena. You better come back early.
In 2013, Hell in a Cell.
Horrible.
Yes.
Where's Del Rio at again?
I was at the Raw that night when they announced that too, and we're all like, "What?" And then he gets pinned by Ricardo Rodriguez right afterwards.
Since we're talking about Alberto Del Rio real quick, do you remember that time Ricardo Rodriguez had split from him? He was on the announce table and he was like jumping up and down trying to distract Del Rio. Del Rio lost, and then Del Rio just knocked the shit out of his legs and like busted Ricardo back like that.
Yes, I do remember that.
I think I might have seen that.
Swipes him down so hard. I'm like, I felt so bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Alberto was a savage, man.
Alberto was a savage. I just wish they booked him better, especially when he came back. They had a great opportunity to do it, and they put him in the League of Losers.
They put the title on him and then completely just did nothing with it. Why did they put Zeb Coulter with him too? That didn't make sense.
That I was like, okay, wait a minute. They feuded in the past going into WrestleMania. Why are they together? I said, you know what? I want to give it a try because I'm happy Del Rio's back. He won the U.S. title. Del Rio should have just been defending the title every pay-per-view and just making himself a better champion. But, you know, that is what it is.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But moving on, Gene, what is number 4 on your list for favorite Royal Rumble matches?
Okay, so my number 4 is an old school Royal Rumble match. It's the 1999 Royal Rumble match.
99.
This Royal Rumble match was it was crazy to say the least.
Yeah.
I believe this is the one where I think Stone Cold pretty much like dominated the match, but at the end of it, The Rock pretty much screwed Austin out of it, and Vince winded up winning it. Like just the dynamic of that, because you know I think they were doing the whole corporate thing, and Vince was pretty much saying Austin had no chance in hell of winning it, and that went on to become the theme song and all of that good stuff. Yeah. And then Vince winded up winning this match, and it was just like, wait, what? And everybody thought Austin was going to win, but, you know, The Rock screwed him out of it. But they went on to face at Mania anyway because Vince was like, I'm not wrestling that match. Yeah. But it was just, you know, you had the old school wrestlers in the match, and just, you know, Austin, like I said, dominating people, completely eliminating. I think we had China in this match as well. Yes. I think she was like number 30 or something like that. Yeah,
she's number 30.
And you know, just like the old school feel of it, and then just the fact that you thought Stone Cold was going to kill everybody, which he looked like he was doing, and then The Rock at the end of the match screwed him out of the match, and Vince was able to win.
Yeah. That's a very interesting pick, Mike, Gene, excuse me, because there are some people that don't like the 99 Royal Rumble match because they feel like it's only about Austin and Vince, which, I mean, yeah, it is. That's the story going in. They feel like, you know, China being the first woman in the Rumble match didn't really get the dedication or time it should have gotten. You know, like there was really nobody else that was gonna win that Royal Rumble other than Austin or Vince. But I still think that's a really interesting pick to put there because I myself didn't even expect Vince to win. I thought Austin was gonna beat him, and then I remember watching it, and then I see Vince come from behind, throw Austin over. And I'm like, remember how Michael Cole's like, no,
Yeah.
I was the same way. I was like, what? No.
What is this? I didn't understand. I'm like, wait, did Vince really?
What?
Oh man. Oh
But
man.
that was great. It kept the Austin Vince feud going. That's what made their feud so great.
Yes.
Moments
it is.
like that. Yes.
Right.
So that Royal Rumble match, love it or hate it, you gotta appreciate the fact that it did continue the Vince and Austin feud, and ultimately in the end, Austin got the title back. He
did.
He got Vince and Rock got their comeuppance at WrestleMania 15.
Yep, they sure did.
Yep. Now, real quick before we go to my number 4, I want to bring out one more great moment from the 2013 Royal Rumble that Mike mentioned, and that was when the Godfather entered.
Oh yes, I forgot you. Like a couple seconds.
And 5 seconds later, he's gone.
So then that slow entrance, everybody got the pop, goes in. Goodbye.
Yes,
oh my
remember,
goodness.
Remember JBL marking out for the Godfather?
I don't remember him marking out.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, would he just go crazy or something? Like, Michael, look, Michael, it's the Godfather.
He go legit, Michael. He go legit, my man.
They're gonna try to overdo it.
All right. Anyway, going into my number 4 favorite Royal Rumble match, it is from 2009, the Royal Rumble that Randy Orton won. I thought that was a great Rumble match, and I can watch that Rumble match again and again and just enjoy it. You know, I really didn't know who was gonna win the Rumble match going into 2009, and then on that go home show on Raw, they planted the seed with, you know, Randy Orton punting Vince in the head, and then Triple H determined to get his revenge on Randy Orton. But the Rumble match itself was great with the you had the Triple H legacy feud going on in that match. Rey Mysterio came in number 1. John Morrison came in number 2, and they lasted a little while. That was a fun way to start off the Rumble. You know, you had RVD make his surprise return, and that crowd went crazy. The superstars were at a standstill when they saw RVD came back. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was in the Royal Rumble match, surprise entrant. CM Punk was in that match. William Regal was in that match. I love when Undertaker came out because that place popped and everybody froze, and Taker kicked a lot of ass. You know,
digging holes and taking souls.
He eliminated ATG. He eliminated I don't remember who else, but he just when his number came, when his music hit, that crowd popped, and everyone in that ring knew, oh shit, here comes the dead man. You know,
you got to take some souls,
taking souls. 29 holes for 29 souls.
For 29 souls.
Undertaker eliminated JTG. He eliminated Chris Jericho, and this was funny because when Taker eliminated Jericho eliminated RVD. He was brash, and then Taker's just standing right behind Jericho with those locked eyes, and Jericho's like, "Oh shit, that was great, man." Taker eliminated. Let's see, he eliminated Shelton Benjamin, JTG, Jericho, like I just said. So he only eliminated 3 guys, but still, Taker had a good showing in that Rumble. I remember Randy Orton just going crazy with the RKOs. He hit Miz. He hit Morrison with an RKO. Freaking Rey Mysterio goes for a dive, and he got an RKO. That was crazy. And then Santino Marella.
Oh my
Need
god!
I say more?
Santino freaking
I wasn't ready yet.
No.
I wasn't ready.
I'm Santino Marella. I wasn't ready.
He's in. And I think
He's gone.
I think JR called him the guy with the world's famous unibrow, and then 1 second later, he's gone. That was priceless. That was priceless. What else do I remember about this? What else do I remember about this Rumble? I mean, the final four was Legacy and Triple H, and when Triple H saw he was outnumbered, but then he told him to suck it. That was great. And he went out on guns blazing. In the end, Randy Orton won the match. But still, it was a great Rumble match. I remember the Brian Kendrick, before he became the Wizard of Oz, the Brian Kendrick was in this match, and Triple H was supposed to throw him out, and he threw him head first, and he bounced off. So Triple H was like, "Fuck it, I'll throw you over again."
It's like, mulligan, let me throw you back.
Yeah,
a botch.
But, yeah, that was a great Rumble match, a fun Rumble match. I'm looking at this. Rey Mysterio almost lasted 50 minutes. If he had lasted 36 more seconds, he'd have hit the 50-minute mark.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time in the Rumble.
You know what? That's what I was talking about earlier. Or that's what I was talking about in the last video, Gene. When you got top names like that actually lasting that long and making an impact, like Rey Mysterio lasting almost 50 minutes, it's freaking impressive. You know,
it really is. Like that's
what I want. I want younger guys to go 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hell, 40 minutes, and have that showing where then you say, okay, this guy's gonna be a made man. But yeah,
it helps you take them more seriously.
Yeah,
like okay, well, they're having a good showing in the Rumble, so maybe I should pay attention to them more.
Definitely. One more classic elimination: Dolph Ziggler. You guys remember Ziggler getting eliminated?
Hi,
no,
I'm Dolph.
I don't.
He was.
Was that the high? I'm Dolph Ziggler. Oh my gosh, that was freaking terrible.
He comes in, he tries to shake Kane's hand. Kane shakes his hand, throws him over.
Yeah, that was it. That was
I'm Dolph Ziggler. I'm Kane. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
My brother digs holes and takes souls. So what do you think I'm gonna do?
I'll fill you in one of the holes. Yep, just like that.
All right. So that's my number 4. Mike, what do you got for number 3?
Well, I actually changed a tad bit around because what we said earlier actually got me thinking of one I actually prefer a little bit better, and that was the 2006 Rumble. I mean, I watched it, and just a story about, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero being close friends, and he wanted to win that match for Eddie, and then the story told, just like we just said before, how long he lasted. That Rumble was like 62 minutes or something like that, and just like the whole build of his getting his title run after that, it was just like they threw so many obstacles at him to get there, like with Randy Orton. He said, I mean, all the stuff that they said to him that, some of it was a little too far, like he said, which I do agree, but just the whole story about him winning it. It's like a guy that I'm sure was a fan favorite, small guy, that you wouldn't see, wrestling these days, but the high flying gimmick that he had. Just what a great story to write for like a guy like him, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely a true underdog story. And if we were able to get that this year with Sami Zayn, holy hell, man.
That would be awesome.
It's going to be mixed reactions with Sami because there's a lot of people who don't like Sami Zayn, and I can't really understand why. Like, they say he doesn't really have charisma, but he keeps showing it every single week. Like, and he just has like a ton of heart as well. Like,
yeah, definitely.
He cut some pretty darn good promos too. I like him on the mic too. I mean, I don't have any problem with that.
If I can just say something, like, I never really watched independent wrestling. I've always been a WWE, WCW, ECW guy. So NXT, I like NXT because when they bring in the top indie names, I'm able to see what these guys are made of. And, I watch Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn's awesome, doing the freaking torpedo DDTs through the corner, Kaluva. Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it's not like I'm just jumping on the bandwagon right away. I knew who Sami Zayn, like, I knew he was El Generico, although he denies it, which is funny. I know he was El Generico.
That's the gimmick.
Yeah, he was El Generico in ROH, PWG, and he had that great feud with Kevin Owens when Owens was steam, So it's not like I'm just jumping on the bandwagon. When I hear these guys get signed, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy, I heard he's been doing this thing and that thing. So you know what I mean? That's what I like about NXT, when they bring in the indie talent, and I'm able to identify with them, and I'm able to be introduced to him and grow accustomed to him. That's what I love, and that's why I've grown into becoming a Sami Zayn fan. He's just like, he freaking threw his shoulder out of the socket and wrestled John Cena in Hell of a Match.
He could have
I
just
remember
gave
that
up and
match.
said, "I'm done," but he took that opportunity to answer the open challenge and still put on a hell of a match, even though he threw his shoulder out.
Yeah.
It
That
really
was
made it worse.
that
But
was just Sami Zayn. Zayn just displaying himself in a nutshell right there. He's a guy that just kept on fighting and wouldn't go away pretty much.
yeah, and that's what he's doing with Strowman.
Right.
Yeah. That's what he's doing with Strowman. All right. So, Gene, what is your number 3 pick?
Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, so I feel like my top 3, you guys are kind of gonna look at me like I'm crazy. I feel like they're good rumbles, but my number 3 is the 2004 Royal Rumble. And who happened to win that one?
Yeah.
Who?
This was the Royal Rumble that was won by Chris Benoit.
Oh, you can't say that name. You
can't say that name. Can't say that name. God damn it. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this Royal Rumble was pretty cool. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it for too long. I just enjoyed this Royal Rumble for what it was, and yeah, Chris Benoit won it, and he was in this match for 1 hour and 1 minute, which, like we were just talking about, the longevity of people in these dang matches is just incredible. An hour long in a match that's not like an hour long Iron Man match is just ridiculous. And he came in actually at number 1. He was number 1. Randy Orton was number 2. Randy Orton lasted like 33 minutes in this match as well. We had Goldberg in this match, who was eliminated by Kurt Angle. Like this match was all over the place. I think Test was supposed to be number 21, and something happened to him in the backstage, and Mick Foley replaced him, and the crowd went nuts for that because everybody loves Mick Foley.
Moment, yeah, and that look of fear on Orton's face when he's like, "Oh shit, he's back."
Yeah, and that just sparked up their thing, and didn't that lead to them having that match at WrestleMania?
It led to the Evolution versus Rock and Sock Connection match, and that ultimately led to Backlash when it was no holds barred between Orton and Foley.
That's right. Yep, I remember that. That was great.
Definitely.
And then, Chris Benoit winning this match led to him going to WrestleMania that same year, winning the world title, and Eddie had won the WWE title, and they both, in the same night, and they embraced, and it was just a wonderful moment, and this Royal Rumble was pretty good for me.
Definitely. Now, I want to ask both you guys a question. When you watch this Royal Rumble match or any Chris Benoit match in general, what goes through your mind? Like, do you still appreciate the match? Do you think about the tragedy? Like, how do you take those in?
I think about it all, I think.
Me too, I think so, yeah.
He was so great. He was Daniel Bryan before Daniel Bryan. And that's not a knock against Daniel Bryan, because I feel like Daniel Bryan is great in his own respects.
Yeah.
But you think of somebody who the crowd got invested in and, pretty much helped him get over. I guess that's a weird way of saying it, but, watched him, grow and grow as a wrestler and just the style of wrestling that he had. And then you just take into account the tragic events that happened. It's just like, it's kind of a bittersweet feeling, because it's like you want to remember how great he was, but at the same time, how do you, not think about, what transpired with him and his family and, all that stuff. And just the career he probably could have continued to have up to this point could have just been something incredible. And I think, based off of what happened, I don't know if they'll ever let him in the Hall of Fame.
I doubt it.
Because, like, they completely gave him the Hulk Hogan treatment and just don't even mention him. Yeah. So I have no idea, but it's a bittersweet feeling.
It is. What about you, Mike? Your thoughts on like when you watch a Benoit match and the tragedy and everything?
I mean, I didn't really get to watch too much back in the day back then, but I am aware of what happened. But I do see too, he had his own unique style also. It's like his wrestling style I do appreciate, but it's like I don't want to dig like too much into like the tragedy of events that happened. I just try to enjoy what I see out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely. You know what? I do the same thing. Benoit, I have a few favorite Benoit matches that I just go back and I watch again and again. They're just great. And like I don't really try to like the tragedies. I think about the tragedy. Like I can't not watch a match without thinking about the tragedy, because I gotta, I remind myself, great. Like I don't try to bring myself down as I enjoy the match. I do remind myself, it's a fucking shame that he murdered himself and his family and everything, but I don't want that to take me away from the match. I want to enjoy the wrestling masterpiece or whatever that he put on in the ring. So, like when I watch
exactly,
a match, I don't really I'll remind I do think about it. It's one of those things you can't really not try and think about. As much as you enjoy the match, there's always going to be that reminder that
this is what happened with him and his family, and he did what he did.
Yeah,
right. You just try to appreciate his wrestling in ring stuff, and it's just like you said, it's just hard.
Yes.
But yeah, so the best way I can put it to you guys, I appreciate the work he did in his craft and the great matches, but I'm still to this day shocked and baffled that he did the tragic things he did. I'll just leave it at that.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So moving on, because of course we're not trying to bum each other out. We're all having a good time here. Moving on to my number 3 pick for favorite Royal Rumble match. It is the 2005 Royal Rumble match from Fresno, California. Great Royal Rumble match. Like I said earlier, it had Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit start off at numbers 1 and 2 respectively. That was a great way to start off the Rumble. 2 great technical wrestlers, 2 of the best of their generation. And from there, it was just a great Rumble with big star power and a lot of fun moments. Daniel Puder gets in at number 3, and his punishment for trying to break Kurt Angle's arm is he gets the shit chopped out of him by Eddie. Holly kicks the shit out of him, eliminates him, and then Benoit and Angle. I keep saying Benoit and Angle, but Benoit and Eddie eliminate Holly. And then this is what I love. Eddie kept trying to eliminate Benoit the whole time.
Right.
Someone over, and then Eddie tries to throw Benoit over right away, and Benoit's like, "The hell you trying to do, man?" And Eddie's like, backing up, "Come on, Holmes, we're friends."
Right. Come on, man. Come on, Nissy.
Come on, man.
They kept going at it. That was awesome. And I've always said this. My dream Royal Rumble start would be Benoit at 1, Benoit and Jericho at 1 and 2. It doesn't matter, and then Eddie coming in at 3.
Sweet.
That'd have been awesome.
That'd have been interesting.
Imagine Benoit chopping both those guys back and forth, and then Jericho's chopping Benoit. Hey, they're gonna be chops are on the table tonight. If that ever happened.
Right.
But 2005 had some strong showings. Rey Mysterio again had another great showing. He went all the way from, I'm gonna look it up right now, but he went from an early entrance to the Final 4 with Edge and Batista and John Cena. That was great because you had 4 young talent who were still established, but they were ultimately building themselves up to – WWE was ultimately building them up to become the new faces of the company. And that's something that my friend James said when because he's been doing a Royal Rumble match review series. And this match was really – when it came down to that Final 4, it set the stage for – the years to come, with Cena being the face for so many years and Batista being and he's still the face,
Right.
Yes.
He's the face of the company, but he's not the face that runs the place. That belongs to AJ Styles.
Yes, it does.
The champ that runs the camp
of the company for more than 10 years now. And Batista went on to become one of the big faces of the company for a few years. And Rey went on to do the same. And so that is one of the best Final 4s because it had so many it had 4 young stars who were out there, and WWE just really, really pushed them well. You know what I'm saying? WWE pushed them well, and WWE was looking to establish them on that night. And that's what I loved about it.
Right.
You had Shelton Benjamin was in that match for, we had a World's Greatest Tag Team reunion, which was cool when Charlie Haas entered. Rey Mysterio was number 8, and he lasted almost 40 minutes.
Jeez.
Man, look at that.
To have some type of record, man.
He's got to be
50 minutes and 40 minutes, dude. That's incredible.
Now, one thing I remember, and my friend Breatha asked me if we were going to discuss this, this Royal Rumble has one of the most insane eliminations ever, and it came from Mr. Snitsky, and you guys might remember which one I'm talking about.
I think so.
Okay.
What is it?
It was when Snitsky had Paul London. He threw Paul London over the top rope. Paul London hung on. He was trying to fight back. Snitsky tried to clothesline him once. He missed. He then beheads Paul London with a
dang.
Oh my god!
I think I remember seeing that one. Yes.
As soon as you said it, I started to remember that. Oh
yes.
My goodness, he killed him.
Impact from that shot.
Oh my gosh!
That was freaking crazy. He missed London the first time, and then bang, nearly takes his head off, and London freaking flips and lands on his face on the outside. And I thought he was dead. I thought he ain't getting up.
Nah, he's not. I think he's still down to this day. The Undertaker dug a separate hole for him.
Oh man.
30 holes now.
Well, Paul London, here's the hole for your soul. I took it 12 years too early.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's a great Royal Rumble match. Of course, you have the ending with Batista and Cena going over the top rope, and Vince seeing that is like, oh, this isn't 1994. We're not having this again. Fuck this. And he runs in the ring.
Tears his quads.
Great.
Kevin Nash, damn it.
Two more. You know what? How can I forget this? Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle stole Nunzio's number and freaking entered the Rumble match and suplexed the world.
Oh my goodness, Suplex City.
He Suplex City before Suplex City was even born.
Right.
For real.
He suplexed Benoit, Jericho, Ray, Edge. He went for Shawn Michaels, and Shawn tried to super kick him. He went for the ankle lock. Shawn rolled him over, and he eliminated him with a super kick, and that started the build to their match at WrestleMania 21.
Oh wow, that's right. Dang.
Yep.
Kurt Angle was hot in that match, though.
Oh yes,
that was awesome. We had, if you guys remember, this guy Simon Dean. Simon Dean was in the Royal Rumble
God, the
and
Simon system
match until after he was done doing squats and everything.
Oh my goodness!
Remember that? Like, he had a weight belt on. He was doing lunges and squats, and JR was telling him to get in the ring. He's like, get in the ring, you idiot! You had all damn day to warm up. Get in,
man.
JR is freaking hilarious, man.
He was great.
And
oh my goodness,
Muhammad Hassan was in the match, and he got beat down by Benoit, Edge, Jericho, Benjamin, Luther Reigns, and Booker T.
Luther Reigns. Oh, didn't he have like a street fight with John Cena before?
Nah, it was
was that Luther Reigns?
Jesus.
Oh, that's right, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Dang, I forget about all these people.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at Wikipedia too to remember some of these things. I'm on Wikipedia right now. But yeah, Jonathan Coachman was in the Royal Rumble match. He kept hiding in the corner.
Jeez. The coach.
Oh my God, the coach.
And then JR was freaking hilarious, like, because Coach had the word Coach written on his pants, and he's like, well, in case you don't remember who he is, just look at his ass. It says Coach on his ass.
Oh my
look
God.
at his ass.
But that was a great
one.
My God. It's one of my favorites to go back and watch. I might watch it again after we're done with this live stream. And hey, we're setting a record ourselves. We're going toward the 2-hour mark.
Oh
Seems
God,
like it,
really?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's almost
setting our own Rumble record.
That's crazy.
To wrap it up for number 3, I love the 2005 Royal Rumble. I have it on DVD. Great Rumble, great pay-per-view overall. And I just, when you say 2005 Royal Rumble, I think Vince tearing his quads, Cena and Batista going over the top, and Eddie stealing Ric Flair's wallet number.
Yes, definitely. Definitely a great Rumble.
All right. Let's keep this show going. Let's not lose momentum. Mike, number 2 favorite Royal Rumble match. What you got for us?
Number 2, I actually picked last year's Royal Rumble 2016, which it was the 4th Rumble I ever saw, like, live, like when it actually happened. And it was like the first Rumble that I didn't really have a bad taste come out of it. I mean, 2013 was okay. 2014, I mean, despite the finish, it still worked in the end because of the story. 2015, let's not even talk about that one. 2016 though, I liked how everything, how all the storylines just took place, and like this all took place in that period. I mean, at first I did have a little bit of a bad taste going into it because I wasn't too crazy first about making it for the title, because I'm just like, this kind of destroys the whole point of it, kind of in some ways. I thought I was going to try to get that way for us to get Roman to win again. I'm like, no, don't do this again. But you had AJ Styles debut, which was phenomenal. You had Sami Zayn making a surprise appearance and pretty much continuing his storyline with Kevin Owens. I remember, Dan, if you're watching this, when Zayn threw Owens out of the ring, Dan literally jumped out of his seat. He's like, yes, storytelling. It actually exists in the WWE or something like that. Like, just threw it all out there right there. And then, of course, Triple H returning at the end, which that was, I mean, not as huge of a surprise as you would think it would be, but it was still a pretty darn good moment to have, and this the face-off he had with Reigns. And then remember this also, he also had a little bit of a face-off with Bray Wyatt as well, pretty much saying like, hey, let's align here right now. And then as soon as Triple H turns away, Wyatt just socks him right in the face. So I'm just like, yes. But then of course doesn't win it, but Triple H won it. But overall, it's probably the first like really solid Rumble I think I saw overall. So that's why I put it as my number 2.
I gotta agree with you there too. That's my number 2 as well,
Oh,
for those exact same reasons. That's why I laughed when you said it, because that just for those exact same reasons right there. Triple H winning, AJ Styles, like you can't. That was a great Rumble match. Like I there you go.
Yes,
Definitely a great Royal Rumble match. You have to excuse me. I'm eating a granola bar right now.
You're fine.
That's fine.
2 hours. You better be eating something, man.
Definitely, but no, great picks. I think it's great. Both of you guys have number 2 as 2016 Royal Rumble match. Excuse me.
That's all right.
No, you're fine. You're eating the granola of Jericho.
Oh,
Chew it up, man.
Okay, now
I did not expect that. That was gold, G. That was gold.
Now I lost my appetite.
Okay, perfect.
But my number 2 pick is the 1997 Royal Rumble match, and this is one of my favorite Royal Rumble matches for a few reasons. First off, this was the very first Royal Rumble match I saw. I knew what the Royal Rumble was. Well, no, actually, the Royal Rumble 1997 pay-per-view was the very first Royal Rumble pay-per-view I ever saw. I started watching wrestling in 1996, in March of 1996 to be exact, and I didn't see the 96 Rumble. But going into 1997, I was really excited because it was my first Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And in the build-up to that pay-per-view, they were really hyping the Royal Rumble match up. You know, Bret Hart was going to be in the match. Stone Cold Steve Austin was in the match. Undertaker was in the match. And this is what I love about like these older Rumbles, and they still do it nowadays with a couple of these other Rumbles, is like guys who competed in previous matches, then you'll see them in the Royal Rumble match. So they do like double duty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you do it as much anymore.
But what stood out to me about the 1997 Royal Rumble match was it was in San Antonio, and ironically, 20 years later, you know, this Sunday we're gonna go back to San
Antonio. Yeah,
remember the Rumble.
Hashtag remember the Rumble. Yes, that's what I put in the video title.
Yes, put it over.
Yes.
What I love about the 1997 Royal Rumble match is that it is the Stone Cold Steve Austin show. He went in that match and eliminated 10 guys. And this was really when they were going to pull the trigger and run with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was eliminating guys like Savio Vega, Jesse James, which was Road Dogg before he became a New Age Outlaw. He eliminated Bart Gunn, Phineas Godwin, Owen Hart, Mark Marrow, Undertaker, and Vader. And I'm going to save the last elimination because that played into the whole match. You know what? It's a good, fun Rumble match. And while 2005 is a better Rumble match, I have 1997 as number 2 simply because of the nostalgia factor. My very first Royal Rumble match, still fun to watch. I used to rent the tape a lot back in the day when we used to rent videos, and I watched that match, and it's a good, fun match. You know, like I said, Taker's in it, Vader, Bret Hart, Austin, the fake Razor Ramon, and the fake Diesel. Mark Marrow was in it.
Go back and watch that.
I might take a look at myself.
Yeah, that was great. And then, you know, there was this classic moment of, you know, Austin's eliminating guys left and right. He's sitting on the top turnbuckle waiting for the next entrant. And when Bret Hart's music hits, he looks up shocked like he pissed his pants, puts his hand over his head like, oh, shit, now I got to deal with you.
Yeah. They were good rivals back in the day.
Bret Hart and Austin went at it. Terry Funk was in this match.
Oh, my
and Terry
goodness.
Funk actually kind of jumped the show. He kind of what's the word? Kind of jumped the gun a little bit because like he came out before his clock even stopped ticking for his entrance. But it was still great to see Terry Funk in it. The Rock was in it as a young Rocky Maivia, and I remember Vince McMahon was so excited for him. He was like, "Here comes Rocky! This man could win this thing."
Is that? Oh my God! Is that when he came out with the tassels and the whole?
That was Rocky Maivia.
The clip they always show on WWE programming when they're talking about The Rock.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was still a good fun Rumble match. You had Jerry the King Lawler in that match. He gets in, and then Bret Hart punches him right out. Like 2 seconds later, one punch, and then a second punch, and King goes, "Whoa!"
And then you're out.
And you're gone.
It's great. He's so knocked out of it when he's trying to put his headset back on his jacket. He's like, what? And Vince's like, what'd you say? It takes a king to know a king. But then it comes down to one of the best Rumble finishes with Brett throwing Austin over the top rope. But the thing is, the referees are distracted by Terry Funk and Mankind, who have been eliminated and brawling. So Austin slithered his way back into the ring, eliminated Taker, eliminated Vader, Brett eliminated Diesel, and then from out of nowhere, Austin throws Brett over the top rope and wins the 1997 Royal Rumble. Great end, a good fun Rumble match. Bret Hart was pissed. He was grabbing Vince McMahon by his tuxedo jacket, cursing a not cursing a storm, but he was pissed off. It was great. Austin's just walking back, fists up in the air. It was great. And the only thing about this Royal Rumble match is when you guys think about it, while it was great Austin won, and this was the first of his 3 Royal Rumble victories, he didn't get the title shot. He fought Vader, Brett, and Undertaker in a Final 4 match at the In Your House pay-per-view Final 4, which was for the vacant championship because Shawn Michaels won the belt that night at the Rumble, and then he had to vacate it because of the famous, I lost my smile.
Oh, yeah.
So while it's great that Austin won the Rumble, and that ultimately led to him and Brett in that classic submission match at WrestleMania 13, it sucks that Austin didn't get a title shot at WrestleMania. He wouldn't get it until 14 when he won the Rumble the next year.
Yes.
But still a good, fun Rumble match. And like I said, it's the first of 3 victories for Austin. No one's ever won 3 Rumble matches like Stone Cold. And the match is just a lot of fun. I mean, it's a good, fun match, and it brings back a lot of memories for me because it was my very first Royal Rumble, my very first Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And, I mean, think about it. We're going back to the Alamo Dome 20 years later, so that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely got to go back and watch that match, too, because I forget about some of the things that went on.
I mean, Jerry Lawler going over the top rope the way he did, and he screamed and he went over the top rope. and Farouk was in that match, and Ahmed Johnson. If you guys remember Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, my God.
Heard of him, yeah.
Yes, I remember
Johnson him out of the ring. It's great. You guys should definitely go back and watch that Rumble for fun. But, yeah, number 2 is the 1997 Royal Rumble. So now we're getting to number 1. So, Mike, what is number 1 on your list?
Well, number 1 is a little bit also just a personal pick of mine because I was there that night also with Dan. The 2014 Royal Rumble, the experience I had being there, it was pretty cool. I mean, seats weren't really the best, though, because we got floor seats that night, but it was kind of tough because we were, like, towards the back, but there were still people behind us. We were being told, like, you got to move this way. We can't see over you. We can't peek over you. But not to complain, but yes, we didn't want Batista to win that Rumble. But what I just remember about that night was that in the end, it all worked out because our voices were heard that night as we start out with. We didn't want we wanted Daniel Bryan in that match. Like anybody wanted Daniel Bryan in that match. And when unfortunately we had to boo Rey Mysterio at number 30, poor Rey, but it wasn't his fault.
Rey.
Right, yeah. But again, it says we had a voice, and at first hearing that it was supposed to WrestleMania was supposed to be like this way and that way with the main event being Orton and Batista, Triple H and CM Punk. Daniel Bryan's supposed to fight Sheamus. Like you had that story with Daniel Bryan going from SummerSlam on, which just to throw it out here, Daniel Bryan's story to the top was what got me invested in watching WWE. I mean, besides Dan, that's when I first met Dan back in 2012. He started taking me to a couple events. I went with him just for fun of it. But Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam in 2013, that's when that really caught my attention. That's when I really started watching. Just all that. You were going to throw all that away for a match with Sheamus at Mania, but just how it all went down after that. Just the story, and how many times Daniel Bryan would say, we have a voice. Do you listen to them at all? We just became part of the story that night, and that's one reason why I put the Royal Rumble of 2014 as my number 1. It wasn't the greatest match, but just the fact that we were all heard that night, and the fact that I was there too, just what made it more special for me.
Great. I'm loving these stories, guys. These are great picks, great stories. I'm loving them. And, Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the 28. It would have almost been if they had that. It would have almost been for the 3rd straight WrestleMania.
Pretty much, yeah. 3 out of the last 4, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy our voices were heard. I'm happy Daniel Bryan got that moment. But, I mean, that's why I'm so happy that SmackDown is doing so well, because you got to believe they listen to the crowd. And NXT listens to the crowd. But on Raw, it's like, we're doing it our way, and it's starting to really, really hurt them.
Oh, yes. It gets worse and worse each week.
Yes, definitely. All right. So, Gene, what is your number 1 favorite Royal Rumble match?
I think it's kind of pretty obvious. Robbie, you went into it, in depth a little bit earlier in your list or whatever. But my favorite Royal Rumble match of all time is the 2005 Royal Rumble. You went into it. You talked about Eddie and his shenanigans. You talked about Batista and John Cena at the very end of it, and just the battle that they had, and then the accident of them both hitting the ground, and then you had Vince come out, tear his quads. You had the star power in that Royal Rumble match. it sounds bad, but it was just like the confusion at the time was just like, why is Vince just sitting in the ring? Why is this happening right now? Like, and then just to find out what had happened is just freaking hilarious. And you talked about the names that were in the Rumble: Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Eddie. Just a bunch of just star power all throughout this whole thing. And then, with Batista and John Cena dueling it out at the end. And, the finish not going how it should have went, but it was still pretty epic to end it off anyway. It was still just a great Rumble match.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
indeed.
I mean, I praise 2005. That is one of my all-time favorite Rumble matches. Just was a great, fun Rumble to sit through. Big star power. I mean, yes, Undertaker's not in the Royal Rumble because he had a casket match with Heidenreich that night.
Oh my God!
That Rumble is one of the best Rumble pay-per-views. I mean, look at what else we got on that card. Just real quick before we get to my number 1 pick. Shawn Michaels versus Edge in the opener. An underrated gem of an opener, dude. Hidden gem right there.
Yeah. Then Edge win that match too, didn't he?
Edge did win that match. And then we had the casket match was solid. Triple threat match for the WWE Championship with JBL and the Big Show and Kurt Angle. That was solid too. Then you had the the World Heavyweight Championship match between Triple H and Orton. That was really good with the concussion.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the Royal Rumble match itself. Yes, the Royal Rumble match itself was great. And God, I remember this. JBL had that one chick in his cabinet, Amy Weber.
Oh my God, the cabinet with the Bashams and Amy and fucking what's his name? Orlando Jordan. Oh my God, OJ. Oh man, that was crazy.
Actually, you know what? Did you guys see what they did to him in TNA?
No, I didn't.
They made him like a cross-dresser.
I think that's what Sandow's doing now.
What?
He's doing like this gay pimp thing in TNA right now. I don't understand.
I don't know if I want to see Sandow or something like that.
No.
Don't look it up.
No. Put it this way. I think the reason in TNA they did it with Orlando Jordan is because Orlando Jordan is bisexual in real life.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
like, why? I always thought Orlando Jordan could have been a good mid-card talent if they just pushed him right, They gave him the U.S. Championship, but he didn't really do much with it. He lost it to Chris Benoit in, like, 16, 20 seconds at SummerSlam that year, 2005?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
They kind of made his run not mean that much.
Okay,
really
so
mean a lot.
Real quick, going back to Heidenreich, my friend TN Couponer this is priceless. He says, I bet Michael Cole has bad memories of Heidenreich on SmackDown.
Yo, Heidenreich raped Cole. I swear, he raped that man. That was bad. He stalked him for months. I gotta read you this.
that was so awkward and uncomfortable. Yeah.
Oh my God, Heidenreich. Oh my goodness, that man was crazy.
All right. So moving on to my number 1 pick. My favorite Royal Rumble match of all time. It is undoubtedly the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. 1992.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Wow, you went back.
This is
Way
a Rumble
back.
that you have to see. You just have to go back and see it. The story going into it. The WWF Championship, vacant at the Royal Rumble. The then president, Jack Tunney, all Jack on the take Tunney, to quote Bobby Heenan. All Jack on the take Tunney. Noriega declares that there will be a Royal Rumble match for the WWF Championship. The winner becomes the WWF champion. And you had a lot of star power in this match. This was huge. Ric Flair, the rightful world's champion. He declared himself, proclaimed himself the real world's champion. And he was going to further solidify that by going into the Rumble and winning. You had the British Bulldog. You had Ted DiBiase Sr., Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You had Macho Man Randy Savage, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, rest in peace. The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. You had Sergeant Slaughter. You had Roddy Piper. You had who else was a big name in it? You had
Nikolai Volkov was in that, wasn't he? Big Boss Man.
Boss Man was in that Rumble.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake, yes, Jake the Snake Roberts. Iron Sheik was in it as General Adnan, I think. I forgot what name he was, but he was in it as a different character.
Yeah.
Not like we're not gonna, but yeah, like we're not supposed to know that's Iron Sheik.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, just great. Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich was in that match. Tito Santana was in that match. Star power galore in this match. And it is just an exciting and memorable Royal Rumble match with Ric Flair going in number 3 and lasting the distance. I think he almost went 60 minutes.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did last 60 minutes,
yeah,
like exactly, or something like that.
And he eliminated Sid Justice last. Sid Justice was a big name at that time, you know? Big
Sid Justice. Big
and
Sid.
Virgil was in that match. And
Virgil. Oh man.
Oh man, it was the best. It's the best Royal Rumble of all time with the biggest stacked roster. And I mean, it's just I love the match. Ric Flair going as long as he did. And this Royal Rumble, I like to call it Bobby Heenan's finest hour because that was the best commentary Bobby Heenan did. The fact he was freaking out when Ric Flair came out at number 3. He constantly reminded people throughout the match and the pay-per-view itself leading into the match that it wasn't fair to Flair, that he had to compete for the title when he should be the champion. When freaking Gorilla Monsoon said that Ric Flair was close to breaking the Iron Man record, Bobby Heenan's like, well, that's good enough for me. Give him the title.
Right. I think Flair had like 5 eliminations in this match too.
One of them was one of them was Sid. I remember with the help of Ric Flair. I forgot some of the other. I don't remember all of the. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to Wikipedia right now. Screw it. That's why I love Wikipedia. But it's great. I mean, Bobby Heenan's commentary is great. He was gonna have a heart attack practically if Flair didn't win the championship. So many great moments. Yeah. There's a spot where Shawn Michaels is beating up was El Matador at the time, and El Matador was wearing green tights, and Bobby Heenan goes, Shawn Michaels is making guacamole out of El Matador, and Gorilla Monsoon's like, he is not. And he's like, look at the tights, they're green.
Right.
My goodness.
Flair eliminated the Bulldog, the Texas Tornado, the Boss Man, which really the Boss Man ran at him, tried to dive at him, landed on the top rope, and then fell over.
Oh my gosh. He played himself.
That's 3. Savage, that's 4 with the help of Sid Justice. And Sid Justice himself with the help of Hulk Hogan. So yeah, 5 people that Flair eliminated. He went an hour and 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, he did go for an hour. Okay.
That was great. The commentary is awesome. Great moments like Macho Man eliminating Jake the Snake and then diving over the top rope. And a lot of people thought he eliminated himself, but then Undertaker just threw him back in. And then at the time, there was a rule where someone has to actually throw you over the top rope to be eliminated. So Macho Man got thrown back in. Flair got backdropped by Bulldog and so many other people. Oh, the moment where he's in the ring alone. And after Boss Man eliminates himself, Bobby Heenan's like, Flair wins it. Flair's the champion of the world. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
And then Piper comes out. Piper comes out, and Heenan's like, oh no, of all the people, anyone but Piper. And Piper's like, spinning around, fucking Flair down. It was great. You guys need to go back and watch that match. It's freaking priceless.
I gotta do that. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
That match is classic. And then here's one thing that pissed me off. So in the weeks after that, the WWE re-aired the Royal Rumble match, and because they were trying to make Sid just as a heel, when Sid got eliminated originally, and when he eliminated Hulk Hogan, the crowd popped, and the crowd was excited that Hogan got eliminated. But when they re-aired it, Hoganomics played a part, and they dubbed over the cheers with boos.
Oh my god!
And they had Bobby Heenan and re-record the commentary. So go to Saturday night's main event, and I think it's supposed to be Hogan and Sid versus Razor Ramon and Ric Flair, or Sid and or Flair and Jake Roberts. And fast forward a little bit, I don't remember when. Just watch the beginning until you get to it, and you'll see they clearly dubbed over the commentary. They dubbed over the cheers with boos, which was stupid because they wanted Sid to actually win it. They being a fan. Yeah, I hate that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's stupid.
Yeah, I'll check this out.
But the Rumble match itself, 92, the best Rumble ever. I love that match.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 2 down, 1 to go, huh?
Yep.
Too bad this isn't on the WWE Network. This is a pay-per-view in itself, 3 hours.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're going for the Mania record.
Oh,
pre-show.
Well, we're
not doing 4 hours. I will die.
Yeah, man. Oh gosh.
Of course, guys, if you need to take a water break or anything, just be my guest.
I just had someone slap me nachos upstairs, so I'm enjoying myself.
Well, I'm drinking myself the gift of Jericho, so I'm about to drink it in, man.
Drink it in, man.
Real quick, guys, while we catch our breath, I'm gonna just read some comments. These are all from my friend T and Couponer. This guy's a very passionate supporter of my channel, so I appreciate all the comments. 92 was awesome. Hell yeah. Heenan was awesome. Hell yeah. Hogan and Undertaker drew from 20 to 30. That's true. That's true because they were the former champions and the controversy was over Hogan winning with Ric Flair's assistance, because Ric Flair got involved in both title matches when Undertaker won and then Hogan won the title back. So Jack Tunney gave them the chance to choose their own numbers.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they came out in the later portions. But this comment right here, this really means a lot. This live stream is better than Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What?
Woo! Well, guys, you know what my watch is saying? What? My watch is saying that it's time to talk about some non-Royal Rumble matches. What?
It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
Boy, do I miss that.
All right. So we've reached the final category of this video. Thank you for everybody who stuck with us since we started almost 2.5 hours ago. It is time for top 5 non-Royal Rumble matches. And those can include, like I said, singles matches, tag matches, title matches, special attraction matches, anything that doesn't involve the Royal Rumble match itself.
Okay.
So, Gene, why don't you kick us off with your number 5 pick?
Okay, my number 5 match is from the 2003 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It's Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle. And a hell of a match. One of the best matches I've probably ever seen in my life. Also one of the best technically wrestled matches of all time. These two just completely went at it. I think this was when Kurt Angle had Team Angle with him and they were ejected from ringside, and it just became a one-on-one match, and these two just killed each other. I think at one point in the match, Angle went for the Angle Slam, got countered to the Crippler Crossface. Like, they were just countering each other because they knew each other so well, and they were just going at it. They didn't really leave the ring as much, which is something that doesn't really happen as much anymore. It seemed like they were just in the ring for like 99% of the match, if not the whole match. And I believe Kurt Angle won. He had like a turnbuckle power bomb into like an Angle Slam or something like that. But I just remember watching this match and just enjoying it for what it was, the technicality of it, and just enjoying the match as a whole because they had two great workers who just poured their hearts out in the ring in that match.
Incredible freaking match. And I'm just going to say something real quick before we move on to Mike's number 5.
Sure.
Look at what SmackDown had to offer as their world title match in 2003. And look what Raw had to offer. Raw had Triple H as the World Heavyweight Champion versus Scott Steiner.
Oh, wow.
And that was the suplex fest for like 20-something minutes.
That's right.
SmackDown, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit for the WWE Championship. You knew that match was going to be a freaking classic.
It was.
Oh, yes.
Let's take a look at this year. Raw. Kevin Owens, Universal Champion, versus Roman Reigns with Chris Jericho in a shark cage.
Crickets.
AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Wow, which match is going to be better? Raw?
I wonder.
Damn, that's a hard choice, man.
Oh, hell yeah, it's going to be SmackDown because look who's in the freaking match.
The face that runs the place.
The champ that runs the camp.
And Mr. Super Cena himself.
Now, let me say one thing. Owens and Reigns are capable of having a good match.
They are.
They're capable of having a good match. It could be even better than Triple H and Steiner from 2003. But why I'm not excited for it is because we've seen it over and over again.
And there's no story to it at all.
What do you watch? You tune in to Monday Night Raw. Oh, this just in. Roman Reigns is defending his United States, I almost said Universal, United States Championship against Kevin Owens. Next week on Raw. Oh, and by the way, Roman Reigns retains. Next week on Raw. Breaking news. Roman Reigns to defend United States Championship against Chris Jericho.
Face palm, face palm, face palm.
LOL, Roman wins again.
Yep.
Next week, we have a high-quality match, something you've never seen before. We're going to have Roman Reigns defend his United States title against Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Yeah,
handicap match. This is unbelievable, guys.
LOL, Roman wins again. No,
except he had to drink it in.
Man.
As Chris Jericho became a Triple Crown champion.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know what? If WWE actually didn't give it to Jericho, it would have been LOL Roman wins again.
I probably would have stopped watching Raw. If Roman would have won that match, like there's no point. Like who cares?
Yeah.
Nope.
We're done.
Yeah. All right, Mike. What is number 5 on your list?
All right. Well, as I said earlier, since I haven't seen too many Rumbles in depth, this was the hardest category for me to get 5 solid picks. I got 4, but the 5th one was hard. So I just did a bunch of research today, and I don't know why I went with something a little bit recent, but the one match that stood out that I saw in my research, and I even looked through the highlights for some reason, was the Undertaker versus Rey Mysterio in 2010. Just the whole concept, like these are two guys who are like getting like starting to gear down a little bit at the time. You know, Undertaker get up there, Rey Mysterio also goes to his knees and such. But you had like this like whole like big David and Goliath like type match, which I believe from what I heard stole the show probably because the rest of the pay-per-view was but just like the whole concept then, like I even watched, you know, how many times you had Mysterio like he's about to come back, how many times he had to knock Taker down and nail a 619 on him, and then Taker would just get back up and just nail him down. It was just a pretty solid back and forth match in my opinion. So I mean, I didn't really have any ideas for number 5. So just from what I saw, I just put that down my number 5.
Yeah, that was a solid match. I was disappointed that it didn't get more time because I felt like with more time it could have told a better story. Because it is a David Goliath matchup. It's the Undertaker, the Phenom, who, let's say, guys, digging holes, digging souls against Rey Mysterio. You know, one of the Lucha Libre greats who never backs down. He's always the underdog, and now he's got the greatest challenge ahead of him in the Undertaker. And hey, 2 of my all-time favorites. I said it earlier in the video. You know, so to see them go at it, I saw the match. I thought it was a good, solid match, but I felt like it could have been better if it had more time. I don't know if Rumble hindered it or whatnot, but yeah, I just wanted that one special Rey and Undertaker moment. But the fact that still it was Rey versus Undertaker, you weren't gonna get that often. You know, you weren't getting that often after that because they were both winding down on their well, Taker's pretty much winding down. Ray's gone on to do great things in the Indies and Lucha Underground, but still, that's one of those like once in a lifetime kind of things. And once in a lifetime, not twice, like at WrestleMania. Don't even get me started.
Oh yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah, but very interesting pick. Didn't even think of that one. My number 5 pick is from 2 years ago. It is, and I'm just gonna say this right now, guys. Like I think I told you this earlier. All of these matches are title matches. So from 2015, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins in the triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes.
Wild as hell match. Exciting as hell. The best thing on the Royal Rumble 2015 card.
The only thing good on the card that year.
And well, you know what? I did like the Miz and Mizdow match with the Usos. I thought that was a very
that one too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that match.
Yeah, but this match was the match of the night, and this was Seth Rollins' coming out party, in my opinion. As a heel, he was building himself up as a future top star, as a future main eventer. But this is the match where, to me, he solidified himself as a future main event player. Let's take a look at what he did. Phoenix Splash on Cena. That crowd goes crazy. Elbow drop on the Brock through the announce table. That crowd goes crazy. He just went out there and he really put on one of the best performances of his career. He really brought his A game in this type of a situation. And I feel like Seth Rollins, when it's the big main events, he always brings something new and something special. And that really separates him from the others. Awesome match with insane action. Cena putting Brock through the barricade. Brock giving J&J Security a suplex.
Oof. Yeah,
Brock catching Rollins in midair and F5ing him. It was just the most insane freaking match I had seen. The most insane match of that night. And I was just wondering, is Seth going to cash in? Is Seth going to cash in?
Yeah.
He didn't cash in, but he put on a hell of a performance in that match. I haven't seen it recently, but I was like shaking after that match was over from all the cheering and everything. I was like, wow, that's awesome wrestling, right there. That was a wild triple threat match.
Yeah, Cena and Brock did a great job of putting him over in that match and just selling for him, just letting him do, what he did best. And the crowd was really hot for Rollins at that point. And then, a few months later, what he went on to do at WrestleMania and stuff just solidified it. But that was a great, great match. I remember that. And that did steal the show for me that year because, screw everything else except that Miz and Mizdow match with the Usos.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Everything else was garbage.
Definitely. All right. Mean Gene, number 4 on your list.
Number 4. Oh, my goodness. Guess what? Guess who's in this match, too? I just talked about him in number 5. Number
Undertaker.
4. Nope. Chris Benoit.
Who?
Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho had a ladder match in 2001. And this match is more iconic for one spot that happened into this match. It was a great match. That one spot, I know you guys know what I'm talking about, is when Chris Jericho had this man Benoit in the walls of Jericho on the top of the freaking ladder.
That was awesome.
Dang, yes.
Something I had never seen before. Like just the innovation of that match in itself. And, them two just tearing each other apart, of course. But just that spot in general just makes me remember that match even so much more, other than it being a great match.
That spot was awesome. And the spot I was thinking of was when Benoit went for the dive through the middle rope and Jericho hit a home run right off his head.
Yes. Oh, my God. They were killing each other. That was a hell of a match.
And that was great. I mean, Jericho and Benoit's feud, for the most part, was really good. They went on it in some really good matches, and I felt like the ladder match was a great way to bring that feud to an end.
Yeah,
it was pretty much like Jericho's last shot again at the Intercontinental title away from Benoit. And
he got it.
Did it in emphatic fashion. Yeah, definitely. That was an incredible ladder match. It's on the ladder match DVD. One of my favorite ladder matches. Just it's Benoit and Jericho. What can I say?
I think I have that DVD too. The ladder match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I got that a few years ago. But yeah, that was a hell of a match, especially at the Royal Rumble.
Mike, Mike, it's your turn. Number 4.
Thought we blanked out for a second.
Me too.
Well, I actually am going to go back to my first Royal Rumble I watched also. My number 4, I picked CM Punk versus The Rock. Although I do think that, it did hurt Punk a little bit because, he should have been in the main event of Mania that year in a triple threat and not the twice in a lifetime. But still, you couldn't take away from the fact that this was one heck of a good match. Again, it was the first time I ever saw CM Punk and The Rock wrestle, like both of them just wrestle at all. And, the story that it told, Punk was getting away for months with sneaking the Shield around, having them do those beatdowns. When the lights went out that night, I remember I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And
What?
not just like that.
What?
What? Just like that. You turn the lights back on, and The Rock is to a table, and CM Punk saying he gets away and he wins it. And of course, remember, he's a Paul Heyman guy that time too. But then Vince came out saying, "I told you that if you got the show involved, you were going to lose your title." And then it's about to get away. But then, I don't know, this is kind of like, people's champion speaking for the people, saying like, they don't want the match to end like this. And The Rock's like, "Wait a minute, you're not going to take the title away from him. I am."
Whoa.
What?
And then the match restarted, and it was just electrifying. What else can I say? But just one of the first like main events I ever watched on live TV. It was just despite it not leading to Punk getting to the main event of WrestleMania, I think it was just a really unbelievable match I saw that night.
Yeah, these are some really interesting picks, guys. I'm really liking these picks, and that's what I think is great about when we do things like this. It's because we come up with picks that none of you guys may expect, or that we have our own personal reasons for liking. Now, I think it's great that's your number 4. Mike, excuse me. Sorry, I was trying to catch my breath. But anyway, like I just gotta go on a rant about that match real quick, and it's not from what you said. But when The Rock said, "I take the title from him, he's not taking the title from me," I was like, shit, I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna beat CM Punk, and that's it. It's like, really, this is
right, yeah.
Why couldn't it just be Rock beating Punk on his own? Like, that pissed me off. That ending pissed me off, and that was the main reason I ordered Royal Rumble 2013 to see The Rock fight CM Punk for the championship. And then the Shield get involved. Vince is gonna strip Punk of the title. Punk's clutching that thing like a baby when it's about to happen. And then Rock says, I'm going to take the title from him my way. And I'm like, oh, God, now I know what's going to happen.
You just knew what was going to happen.
No, you know what? Rock is going to go Super Cena for one day.
Very much.
That's exactly what he did, too.
And you know what? It was cool seeing The Rock with the championship, but I do agree that this hurt Punk a little, and he should have been in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't care if it was him versus Taker, title versus streak, or him, Rock and Cena in a triple threat. He should have just been in the main event. So, yeah, that match left a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. But again, Mike, it's not to take away from it being your number 4 pick. I think that's great.
Yes.
I just had to get that out because I've never really talked about that match. And I was going to do a video on it if AJ and Undertaker were in the main event of Royal Rumble this year. If that was confirmed, I would have done a video, but they didn't. And, of course, we're getting AJ and Cena, which I'm excited for because that's going to blow whatever Raw has out of the water.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes, it is. Easily.
Speaking of water, I'm going to get a swig of mine, and then I'm going to share you my number 4 pick.
The swig of Jericho?
The swig of Jericho?
Take a sip, man.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Jeez.
That is freaking priceless.
Yes.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Where's that comment? Someone made a Jericho comment in here, and I'm trying to find it.
Oh, man. They did?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Let's see. I swear I just saw it, guys. I know I'm not blind. Where is it? It was some kind of Jericho. My friend TN Couponer says when it comes to Roman Reigns, I want to puke it out, man.
Oh man.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Number 4 on my list is from Royal Rumble 2000, the street fight for the WWF Championship. The champion Triple H defending against the challenger Cactus Jack. Talk about barbaric and bloody.
Loved it.
It was an insane freaking fight. This was the match that really put Triple H over as the champion. You know, that match with Cactus Jack. And it was bloody. It was brutal. I remember Triple H getting busted open. I remember he handcuffed Cactus Jack. They're fighting in the entrance ramp, and The Rock cracked the shit out of Triple H with a chair. That was great. I mean, Triple H and Mick Foley, you know, had a great feud in early 2000s. This street fight was great because this was really where Triple H had to prove he could shine in a match like this. He's a great wrestler, but how does he fare in a street fight with someone as crazy and deranged, barbaric as Cactus Jack? You got thumbtacks. He got pile driven on the announce table. I mean, the barbed wire baseball, the barbed wire 2x4. It was just an insane match. And Triple H bled. He bled buckets in this match, and he really proved he could hang with someone like Cactus Jack. He proved he was a main event star. He proved he was a new face for WWE. Great match. I mean, the thumbtacks, freaking Cactus Jack gets backdropped on him. Then he gets the pedigree on him. Insane. And then Triple H had to get stretchered out because of all the blood he lost, and Cactus Jack still beat him down. It's like, that was great. That was great storytelling.
Oh, yes.
I hate to stooge myself off here, but that's my number one match. Just because of that, just the barbaric nature of that match and how ruthless it was. Like you said, Triple H had to be stretchered out of that because of the blood he lost. Like, I just remember seeing blood for a good part of that match. And like you said, Triple H had to prove himself to be, you know, one of the main eventers, to be in these high profile matches with somebody as ruthless as Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack, Mick Foley is already barbaric enough as it is, but him being Cactus Jack just takes it to a whole nother level, and that's what this match was.
Definitely. That match
Pretty much
was awesome. It was, you know, the best match on the card from Royal Rumble 2000. And I mean, when you think Royal Rumble 2000, you either think Rock winning the Rumble, Cactus Jack and Triple H in the street fight, or that spot with Mae Young.
Oh my goodness, no.
Yes, I know. That was the talk of the schoolyard, my friends, when I came to school the next day, and it was not good.
Oh my goodness.
Nah.
Oh, that was, oh boy.
Yeah. All right.
Jesus.
So, Gene, we already found out what your number one is. What's number 3 on your list?
Number 3 is from 2007. It was a last man standing match between John Cena and Umaga. And I just noticed, like, on my list, like, all these matches seem to be like very physical matches, like where the people were pretty much trying to kill each other in these matches. Because, like, this match was considered to be a throwaway. Like, when it was being built up, nobody was really, you know, focused on this, but it turned out to be a very brutal match. Like, I think I even remember Cena. He had, I think he had the top rope. Like, he literally took the top rope off and had Umaga in the STFU. I was like, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. That match was crazy.
Yes, that was crazy.
Let me tell you something. The only 2 things that I really like about Royal Rumble 2007 are that match and the Royal Rumble match itself. Because you had Bobby Lashley versus Test for the ECW Championship. That should have been really good, and it was only like 6 minutes. Then you had Batista and Mr. Kennedy for the World Championship. That should have been good, and that was all right.
Yeah.
That match, Cena and Umaga, that was a match where John Cena proved he could have a really good to great match. I mean, he busted open. He was getting his ass whipped, and he had to go to extra lengths to beat Umaga so much that he had to choke him out with the top rope and everything.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous.
Yes.
He took the damn top rope off and was just choking him with it. That was crazy. But I know he, you know, passed away at an early age. Rest in peace, Umaga as well. But I felt like he should have been a world champion too.
Yup.
Oh yes.
He should have been a top champion, and they never really did anything with him after that.
He was dominant, man. That spike.
I will remember William Regal calling him Umanga.
Regal!
You know what happens when you don't pronounce people's names right? You want to know what happens? You just made the list!
You just made the list!
Or Joe's, I don't even know what Joe would say.
Bring me, you Regal.
Nakamura or hand
Me, my
NXT title
championship.
You either say his name right, or you give me my NXT title. Like, what the hell does that have to do? What? Wait, Joe, hold on. Well, yeah, that was a great match. I enjoyed that one.
Definitely. And what about you, Mike? What's number 3 on your list?
Well, number 3 is actually a mid-card title match that happened last year. This is probably one of my top 10 favorite matches from 2016, and that is Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens in that last man standing match for the IC title that kicked off the Royal Rumble, the main show, that is, not the pre-show, the main show last year. This was a match, like you said, like it was just a very physical match. It had both Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens bringing the best out of each other. This was almost spot on fight Owens fight, not walk Owens walk. But this is just Dean Ambrose's bread and butter type match. And the two just went out there and just like destroyed each other. Like didn't like Kevin Owens go through like 2 tables or something like that at once?
Yeah.
This match was like it was all, I think it was decently amount like around like outside of the arena, but it was just one heck of a physical match. I just thought it was just one great match, especially with how great the Intercontinental title was defended, with how prestige it was, especially with that the Fatal 4-Way at Extreme Rules, a couple other different good Intercontinental title matches, the feud with Miz and Ziggler. This was one of those matches that just made that title feel a lot more important, just of how great it was. So that's definitely my number 3.
That was a hell of a way. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that double table spot, didn't Owens go off the top rope outside of the ring through the table?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was. Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy match too.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. But that was the best way to kick that Rumble match. To kick the Rumble pay-per-view off last year. You want a match that's red hot. It's going to get the crowd excited. But you don't want to burn them out too much. So they did that. Then they did the tag team match, which was a good fun match. Then they did the United States Championship match, which despite a couple botches was, I thought, a great match for Kalisto and Del Rio. Then you did the Divas Championship match. And then you save it all for the main event, the Royal Rumble match. Yeah, definitely. That was a awesome way to kick off the show, Owens and Ambrose. Number 3 on my list is from 2002, and it was Chris Jericho defending the undisputed WWF Championship against The Rock. You know, Jericho and Rock had great matches throughout their feud from late 2001 into early 2002. And this is another one of my personal favorites simply because it's on the Rumble DVD that I first bought when I started buying wrestling DVDs. They put on another great match. Their No Mercy 2001 WCW Championship match will always be my favorite of their matches because that was just incredible from start to finish. But this was another great match. I love Jericho just staring down The Rock, and he's circling The Rock, walking around, talking trash to The Rock. And then he says something about The Rock's mama. And if you read The Rock's mouth, I think he said something like, "What the fuck did you say about The Rock's mom?" And then he holds his hand in Rock's, and he tells Rock to drink. Rock starts socking the shit out of him. It's great.
But that took a little too far.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
And then
perfect.
They did, yeah, it was great. I mean, you know, you had interference from Christian and Lance Storm, and Nick Patrick got involved when Earl Hebner got knocked out, and The Rock hit like I think a DDT or a rock bottom, but like Nick Patrick, because he was the heel referee, he refused to count the 3, so Rock just gave him a rock bottom, and then I remember Rock beating Jericho through the table. It was just a great match. It was a great match. And like I said, I feel like Rock and Jericho had great matches from 2000 or late 2001 to early 2002, and this is just another one of them. So yeah, great fun match. Has that nostalgic feel because it was when Jericho was the undisputed champion. Yeah, this was when Drinking It. This was before Drink It In, man. I mean,
this was great Jericho. This was beat Austin and Rock in the same night Jericho.
This is Jericho who would like hold the title in front of you, like, oh, you want to hold it? You want to hold it?
No, you can't do it.
Nope. Yeah, that was great. That was Jericho at his best. Some of the best work of Jericho's career. And again, Rock, the fact that he had to cheat, he hit a low blow and he rammed Rock's head into an exposed turnbuckle and then rolled him up with his feet on the ropes. It was like classic heel Jericho. That was great.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I love that Jericho. I still love Jericho now, but just even back then, he was still great.
Yeah, definitely. So Mike, since you've done your number one, what is number two on your list?
Wait, no, that was me.
Gene did number one.
I did number one.
Oh no, Gene did number one. My bad, Gene. My bad. So since you stated your number one, what is number two on your list? The final match on your list, number two.
This is also a match that you have talked about earlier, Robbie. Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus John Cena. How could I not have this match on my list? Not of Jericho. But this, like you said earlier, this match did a good job of Seth Rollins getting himself over and, you know, Brock and Cena pretty much helping him get over. He shined in this match with the spots he did and just, you know, the wondering, you know, even if he lost the match, would he still cash in Money in the Bank? And just the ramifications of him looking like a main eventer in this match and then going on to doing what he did with the Money in the Bank briefcase. But just, you know, having a great showing in this match, Brock and Cena doing a good job selling for him, killing each other at the same time. It was just a great all-around match and one of my favorite Rumble matches of all time.
Definitely. And now we move on to number two on your list, Mike. What do you got?
The same thing, actually. I had Brock versus Cena versus Rollins as well. Gene, that's the second time you're not done at the same time. Yeah. But yes, I do agree with what you said. You know, at first with this match to me, just Brock and Cena again, I'm like, why? Like, I didn't really care too much. You know, Cena already lost to Brock twice. Well, I'm sorry, the last time was controversial because Rollins came in and tried to cash in at first, but didn't happen. But all three of them kind of came full circle, but plus also, this is, like you guys keep saying, this was a match that really solidified Seth Rollins as a main eventer. Both these guys did a great job in putting Rollins over, doing all this amazing stunts that he could do. It was just an unreal match. Definitely the only thing good about the 2015 pay-per-view.
Definitely, yeah. And yeah, when you think about it, it did come full circle because when they had the rematch at Night of Champions, I thought Rollins was going to cash in after he took both guys down and then Cena got back up. And then it came full circle at the Rumble in a hell of a triple threat match. And the funny thing was in the build-up, after John Cena won the Hell in a Cell match for Randy Orton, which guaranteed him a shot at Brock Lesnar, I said, okay, you know what? This better not be a regular match at the Rumble. It has to be like a last man standing match where Cena can really just go out to try to slay Brock, but then Brock just massacres him or something. But in the end, it became right, which was 100 times better, and I had no complaints about it.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. So, Mike, since Gene already did his number one, why don't you go ahead and share with us your number one pick, and then I'll do my final two.
Okay. Well, my number one actually took place at the 2014 Royal Rumble, where I was at, and it was special because, well, it was really the first time I got to see this guy wrestle in person, but it was probably one of the best matches both of these guys did, and that was the first match of the show. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
What a match that was! Definitely
what a hidden gem.
One of the top three matches of the year, in my opinion. This is a match. You had two like fresh guys going at each other. A very unpredictable match. The feud that was going on between this, and this was like a nice little roadblock between Bryan going after the title and his journey to WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt come down, and he and Bryan briefly joined the Wyatt family, which I was ticked the night he joined the Wyatt family. He's like, why? You were building up for all this, then this happens. But again, 2 weeks later, that night in Rhode Island, that's probably the loudest crowd I've ever heard when Bryan turned on Bray inside that steel cage.
Yep.
That was unreal. I went nuts that night. Probably the most nuts I've probably gone with either that or when he won the title at Mania. And then this whole match was just great. The two of them brought the best out of each other. And one of my favorite parts of this match was towards the end when Bryan went to do that suicide dive between the ropes. Bray Wyatt caught him and did the Sister Abigail right into the wall. Why can we not see that more often? Like that's just a genius move right there. And you want to make Bray Wyatt a monster? I mean, of course, preventing injury, of course, in real life situation, but still, that you gotta do more stuff like that. Like that was just an unreal move right there. Because when he did that, I'm looking, I'm like, did that really just happen? Did he just literally just take his momentum and just Sister Abigail right into the wall? That was just a sick move right there.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That
the
was
two-piece Super Cena.
More Ronaldo right here.
Man.
But that was a hell of an opening match. That is a hidden gem in Royal Rumble history. Not a lot of people talk about that match, but I remember it. That was a hell of a match between Bray and Daniel Bryan.
Oh yes,
I agree.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna end this thing with my final 2 picks. Coming in at number 2. And Gene had this on his list. It was his number 5 pick. It's my number 2 pick. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit from 2003. You know, I'm not gonna really say much. Just gonna, like Gene said, an incredible wrestling match. It had me on the edge of my seat when I was watching it because Benoit was really going all out to win the championship, and you really felt like this could be his night. Hit a long distance flying headbutt. He suplexed Angle on his face. It was just like from one submission to another. Ankle lock versus crossface, just technical mastery and wizardry at its best. It was just an incredible match. And the ovation that Benoit got from the crowd after even losing that match was just incredible and emotional. And that was really the match where Chris Benoit solidified himself as a future main event player. I mean, from there, you knew he had to win the WWE or World Heavyweight Championship one of those days. So it's just...
Yeah, the crowd showed him tremendous respect.
Oh, yes.
Like, what happened with Seth Rollins in his match is exactly what happened with Chris Benoit in his match.
Exactly.
That breakout performance where you're like, this guy's destined to become a world champion. What else can I say? Awesome match. Angle making Benoit tap the way he did because it was like a reverse ankle lock in a grapevine. That was just freaking awesome. So
yeah,
that is still one of my favorite matches from Royal Rumble 2003. And like I said, when you look at what Raw had as a world title match compared to SmackDown, SmackDown took the cake.
Definitely did.
They're gonna take it again come Sunday, I believe.
Easily.
Oh yeah.
Easily. And finally, my number 1 favorite non-Royal Rumble match is from 1999. It is really the only reason I watched the 1999 Royal Rumble match or 1999 Royal Rumble show because this match just was awesome. Mankind versus The Rock. I Quit match for the WWF Championship.
Oh man! Oh man!
Yes.
Yes. Incredible choice.
Was brutal. And if you guys ever saw the movie Beyond the Mat, it's kind of hard to watch some parts of that match when you know Mick Foley's family's out in the crowd and they're watching him take the punishment he takes. This match was insane. I remember watching it the first time, and I felt so bad for Mick Foley. I thought he was going to die in that match from some of the stuff he took. He got knocked off one of the railings and landed on one of those electrical outlet boxes, whatever those things are. When the lights went out, I'm like, oh, shit, he got shocked to death or something. I was concerned because, remember, I was young when this happened. So I didn't know if he was really dead or what. I was just concerned, you know. Then The Rock gives him the elbow with the chair on Mankind's head. And then comes the brutal part of the whole match. The chair shots.
Yeah. Oh my God. Those are hard to watch.
It's kind of hard to watch. But it's like, man, the fact Mick Foley didn't die from one of those or that those chair shots didn't really mess his brain up or anything. I don't know if he's got like any kind of brain damage from that, but the fact that he took all that punishment in that match, you got to admire and respect him for what he's done. He has put his body on the line for us, but that right there, you just got to, like I said, if you watch Beyond the Mat and you're watching this match, you're watching it thinking, man, what he did in that match was insane. The things him and Rock did, and just what a lot of people remember are the spots he took, particularly the chair shots, because one of those chair shots split his head open, cut him in the head, which is really ugly.
Yeah. That was another gruesome match. That seemed like the theme of our list, though. Just like the most brutal non-Royal Rumble matches ever.
Oh, yes.
But, you know, it's still a great match. And in the end, you have The Rock shoving the microphone in Mick Foley's face, and Mick Foley's lying down, and you can't really see his face. And then you hear, I'm going to try to do the voice. If I can't, I'm sorry. But then you hear I quit. And everybody's like, what? Because no one thought Mankind would ever say, I quit. He kept taking so much punishment in the match. He's like, go to hell, Rock.
I quit. I quit.
Yeah.
I quit.
What? Yeah, that was, man. I might have to watch Beyond the Mat to see that from like the different perspective, but I know just watching it in general was just like, ooh, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Dang.
Like, did The
Yeah.
Rock have heat with him backstage or something? Like what's going on here?
No. Like, actually, if you watch Beyond the Mat, they're talking and they actually talk about what they can do in the match. You know, they actually go over like what they want to do and everything. And the chair shots don't come up, but they talk about like some of the other spots, you know, as they're booking it and everything. But it was just like it's hard to watch after like I think the third or fourth chair shot because he doesn't have his hands up. He has, you know, he's handcuffed and he's taking all that punishment. So it's just like it's really insane, but it's still one of my favorite matches simply because of everything that happened. And you know how you gotta appreciate Mick Foley for the bumps and everything he took in that match. It's still a great match because Rock and Mankind, their feud from '98 to '99 was great, and you know no one ever saw Mankind as like WWF champion. And look what he did. He beat The Rock and on that iconic episode of Raw, and they traded the title back and forth, and no one thought Rock was going to make him say I quit. But then, of course, you find out that it was a recording of a promo Mankind did, and they fooled us all. So
Right.
great swerve, great match. And like I said, I mean, when you watch it, you just can't help but think that his family was in the arena watching it, and they were really concerned. They left. They left because of how brutal it got. So
Yeah, I don't know how they could have sat through that. That's just ridiculous.
yeah.
But I don't know
despite
how he's still alive right now.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I remember these two guys in the Beyond the Mat movie. They're like, they're talking about how Mankind's indestructible. Like, throw that man off the cage. What's Rock gonna do? Rock bottom. That man.
Oh man.
I like that part when he gets there. It's a little funny.
The network?
No, that's not on the network because that was not licensed by WWE or anything.
Okay.
You could probably find it on YouTube.
Yeah,
but
it's probably on YouTube.
With that said, everybody, those are our lists of top 5 Royal Rumble moments.
Did you do Dan's?
No, I'm about to do his right now, actually.
Okay.
Non-Royal Rumble matches. And as I said, I was just about to actually read off Daniel Giza's top 5 favorite non-Rumble matches and his top 5 favorite Rumble matches. And I'll leave those in the description box. But for his top 5 Rumble matches, number 5 is the 2005 Rumble. Number 4 is 2002. Number 3 is 1992. Number 2 is 2008, which was a really good Rumble with the MSG experience. And number 1 is the 2001 Royal Rumble. And then for his favorite non-Rumble matches, number 5 is Rock and Mankind from Royal Rumble 99 in the I Quit match. Number 4 is Brock versus Cena versus Rollins from 2 years ago, triple threat. Number 3 is Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Number 2 is the two Chris's, Benoit and Jericho in the ladder match from 2001. And number 1 is Triple H and Cactus Jack in the street fight from 2000.
Oh, wow.
Great
nice list.
Yeah, that's great.
Daniel, thank you for sending me your list. You're here with us in spirit, brother. We hope you can join us again for another live stream. And guys, if you guys have any other memories you want to share before we go off the air, the floor is all yours real quick.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
You got a lot.
We covered it all.
Yeah,
yes.
All right. Well, that'll do it, guys, for our Royal Rumble Memories video. We went 3 hours, and we're not going over 4 like WrestleMania. That's for damn sure.
Oh, God.
This has been a lot of fun. Again, I just want to say thank you very much, Gene and Mike, for joining me. The links to their channels are in the description box. But, guys, you are welcome, just like on Daniel's channel, to get a plug for your channels.
Go, Gene.
Oh, all right. Well, You can catch me on YouTube at BSP Wrestling Show. Just search it up on the YouTube. I do wrestling reviews and commentaries and all that good stuff. Like I said for Daniel's channel, not as elegantly as Robbie does over here, but you know, I'm okay, I guess.
And Mike?
Yeah, sure. Of course, you can check me out at the Club of the Man 1993. I just do whatever heck I want, wrestling talk shows, commentaries, video game let's plays, whatever is on my mind. You can follow me on Twitter at the Man Airboy 93. My channel is the Club of the Man 1993. And of course, just endorsing these guys here, you know, Robbie and Gene, they're both great guys to listen to also. So make sure you check out their channels as well. And of course, Dan's, but Dan wasn't able to make it today. But of course, check him out too.
Definitely. And hello, one and all. And of course, you can find me on my channel.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
And of course, you can find me on my channel. I do Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews. I'll be reviewing the January 24th edition of SmackDown Live, the go-home show. It's the Royal Rumble. Great show. We got Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. And again, I just want to thank all you guys. I want to thank Robbie for letting me know.
Oh,
Daniel, we love you. I hope you like that.
Get well soon, man.
Flattery.
Oh,
and lastly, guys, of course, I am Robbie1 Kenobi. You can find me on Twitter at Robbie1 Kenobi, as it's spelled just like it is here on my YouTube channel. Please support all of us. I have, like I said, everybody's links in the description box, including Daniel's as well. This has been a lot of fun, guys. We definitely, you know what, I'm going to say it right now because I think it'd be great if we always did collaborations like this together. You've got the original 4 Horsemen, you've got the 4 Horsewomen of NXT, and now you've got the 4 Horsemen of the YWC.
Oh, snap. We just got branded, son.
yeah,
I like
loving it.
Daniel, we're throwing the 4 up for you. You are a horseman, and we definitely want to keep doing more collaborations with you or individually, of course. We're always down for that. So, guys, that does it for this video. Thank you to TN Couponer and John HD15 for joining us this whole 3 hours. And yes, this 3 hours was more enjoyable than freaking Monday Night Raw. So there you go, guys. You don't have to watch Monday Night Raw. We just gave you something a lot better than Raw.
Yes. Just turn this on instead of Raw. Screw Raw.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going off the air for tonight. Everybody have a good rest of your Sunday evening. Enjoy the Royal Rumble on Sunday. Leave your comments down below. Share your favorite Rumble moments with us, your favorite matches and memories. We'd love to hear from you guys. Check out these guys' videos. And until then, we'll see you all later. Well, actually, you know what, guys? No. I'm sorry. We have to end this on one final positive note. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
I think so.
I think you know where I'm going with this. If I can get this to work, please, please, please. Ah, come on. Damn YouTube and the damn ads.
All right.
But in any event, guys.
Yes.
All right. That's it for us, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Guys.
That was the main event. Yes, we appreciate the real main event, not that show on the WWE Network. All right.
Oh, God.
That's it, guys. Thank you for watching and joining. We truly appreciate the support. And keep supporting the YWC and keep supporting our channels. Peace.